All right, we're gonna go clockwise around the table.
Which one's clockwise?
That way.
I don't believe you.
Rain of fire. Oh, God damn it.
You don't move during Flame Wreath.
All right, everybody ready?
And that's counter.
Age of Ego is ready.
No, clockwise is that way. There's a clock in that direction. Hello, welcome to Lord...
Motherfucker.
What the fuck are you...
Motherfucker.
I mean, he's right though. It's not.
I know what clockwise is.
I don't think you do.
I do. It's the
He did
spinny
that wrong,
direction.
right?
What?
It's
What the fuck do you mean spinny direction? What the fuck do you mean?
Anytime something spins, it goes that direction.
That's not how anything works.
Unless you're in Australia,
Yeah.
God
then
damn
it goes
it.
the other way.
God damn it.
Okay, so if you're holding a fan and it's spinning, if you're looking at the fan blade and it's spinning this direction, which direction is it spinning?
That's counterclockwise.
Okay. If you're looking at the back of a fan, it's spinning the same direction. Which way is it going?
Are you saying things are relative?
Yes.
You're just okay. My God.
All right. Everybody ready?
Yeah, sure, I guess.
I don't smell toast, so I'm not having a stroke.
He's having a stroke.
Is that what having a stroke feels like?
Hello and welcome to Learn to Wargame, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or PG Mutilus on the forums, and I play Kador.
Is it sure it's or, not both?
In reference to what?
Are you not Brandon and PG Mutilus?
Nope, not at the same time.
Well, he's not branded on the forums.
I've never posted my name at the same time as I post on the forums, so I'm only PG Mutilus.
You're only what you are on the internet.
Yeah, which is why I feel no remorse.
Spence, just go.
It's your turn.
You
Clockwise.
said clockwise.
Yes.
This is the opposite of clockwise.
That's not, no.
Okay,
It's
I guess.
relative. We already
God
agreed.
damn it. You're going to make Karl agree with me again. You know he hates that.
No, I'm just not going to.
Thank you.
I abstain.
This is, which, by the way, that corgi shirt, my girlfriend went fucking on and on about that.
It's a cool shirt.
She's been begging me for a fucking corgi. Like, she wants
You
one
should
bad.
get a corgi. I have a corgi.
Like, I don't know where you go buy these things.
They're
I don't think you want a dog, Spence.
I don't want a thing.
I don't think this dog wants you.
That's, I mean, I'm very, very okay with animal abuse. Like, I think that's a thing. That's a political stance.
Intro yourself!
Oh, okay. This is Spence.
The
Just
dog
Spence
beater.
on the forums. Sometimes I beat animals. I mean, I gotta feel big somehow. And I own some Menoth models.
Okay, shut up.
I've been giving away my scorn.
I'm Karl. I'm not on the forums. I play Convergence.
What?
That's what I played most recently.
No.
I've never seen Convergence.
Oh, you're right. I
Anything
didn't play Legion last night. I play Legion.
You're a liar.
I've never seen you play Convergence.
I played Convergence at the last tournament.
You did.
This is Jeremey. I go by Lord Fool. I play games every once in a while.
There's a minimum 5 minutes.
Jeremy is also Age of Egos on DACA. He's a mod. You can ask him.
This is Max. I'm Age of Egos on the forums.
Max
Come
is
check me out on
also
DACA.
here. He's here. Check him out on DACA. Max.
Max out. All right, so today we're going to be talking about Mark III stuff.
Wait.
I know.
No.
It's new and exciting.
Let's retro this shit. We're going Mark 1. Let's go.
All right, talking Mark 1.
Mark 1
Vlad
shit.
2. Holy shit.
That guy's going to be good. I'm going to say he's going to win a couple games.
Yeah,
I just-
a few
I-
tournaments
Anybody excited
maybe.
about this cavalry that's coming out?
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly impressed by
I
everything
heard
you're talking
we
about.
might even get like a third option for the Helljack. It's going to be good.
How do you get the book to work?
I don't know.
So done with this.
Also, trolls might be playable.
No.
This is so bad.
All right, back to Mark 3.
Back to Mark III.
Okay, we're in the future again.
All right.
Or the present. Future from where we were at.
Does anybody find it odd we're looking at Brandon's basement, but it's not Brandon's basement?
My God, don't do this to me.
This is my basement, though.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes more
He
sense.
was doing the Wayne's World noise.
Yeah.
I understand. I did it too.
And that was the Wayne's World reference.
That's how you could have known. Is like a tip.
Was it just a tip?
The tip.
The. Proper nouns.
All right, so what we're going to talk about today is basically two large segments. In the first one, we're going to talk about what we think are the best casters in the game currently in Mark III. So a lot of times when you see people rating casters or just pretty much anything in gaming, there's a standard like F to A tier, but then there's also like what people consider the S tier, which is above and beyond the normal system. Like they basically exist outside of the normal bell curve. Like they're clearly outliers. So we think there's currently 3 that exist in that format. Sloane from Signar, Madrak 2 World Ender from Trolls, and Wormwood and Cassius from
Read the fucking
Circle
sheet.
Ouroboros.
Read the fucking sheet properly.
You actually, okay.
I entitled this motherfucker, all right?
In the name of the
episode.
sniper, the troll, and the fucking tree.
It's an app.
Is it a tree of fucking, or is it just reference to a tree?
Well, it's not a tree of fucking because fucking is not capitalized. I'm simply being derogatory when referencing the tree.
Okay.
Got it.
Glad we cleared that up.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go through real quick. We're going to touch on each caster and why they are good. So first off, let's start with Kara.
She's in Signar.
Because no one's talking about her enough currently.
Spence's first question here is, what the fuck does she do? So let's talk about what Kara does.
She melees things.
This is...
Yep, she's melee alpha strike.
We're going to go and assume, like, one of two things, okay? Either, one, you have no fucking clue about anything like me, except for the most vague ideas. Like, all I read is Kara's going to kill everything because, oh my god, top 1, she can destroy the whole fucking world, except for the errata, which just
can't do
changed
that
that,
anymore.
okay? And you all, I'm hoping, can explain it to me, because I don't fucking know anything.
So yeah, real quick.
So in all actuality, imagine you're not talking to one another who communicate realistically with this game all the time and know a lot. You're telling me, who knows vaguely kind of what's going on in the game but doesn't actually know anything.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, she's the blue one.
God damn it.
She's got a big gun.
In realism, though,
Sloane to train.
she's obviously a sniper caster. She wants to play a battle group, kind of like a little 2 did in Mark II, with lots of long-range, powerful, efficient guns.
Basically, the little 2 come again to haunt you.
So she's got pretty much every tool you could want to deal with anything that wants to stop guns. So she has Field Marshal True Sight to get through clouds, concealment.
Not concealment anymore.
Oh, that's right. She doesn't ignore concealment.
Just
So
stealth.
she sees through clouds. She sees through stealth with her Field Marshal. Guided Fire gives her whole battle group boosted attack rolls, which is very efficient. With Power Up, basically everyone gets a fully boosted range attack every turn. Most importantly, a lot of people consider Hunters one of the primary options with her because for 11 points, Armor Pierce becomes very good when you can reliably hit and boost damage every turn.
The change to Armor Pierce, too, is pretty important.
It is.
Because it puts her caster assassinations on the table.
They removed all the positions in which Hunters were bad.
Yes.
So the change to
and
snipe,
then made them cheaper.
the change to hunter being that it affects small models now.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
The Hunter did lose parry, which is actually a very important thing to remember when you're playing against Kara.
Because you can actually just jam a jack.
You
at
just
that point.
jam into them with like 3 breach troops, and all of a sudden they have really a hard time clearing themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
Fire group is really important. Guided fire even more so. And then she has refuge for herself, so she will always be in a very safe position. And then her feat real quick. Originally, it immediately made all of her battle group make a ranged attack with +2 to hit. Now, it just allows them to make an additional attack during their activation, which, in my opinion, is a lot stronger because during activation, you're allowed to boost your rolls.
It also casts Fire Group immediately.
It also casts Fire Group for free.
It's basically Haley 1's feat.
Yes, it's
Except
very
worse.
Battle group.
It is, but she doesn't have Field Marshal True Sight.
No, there's been a lot of discussion
Right.
about Haley 1 versus Sloane and which one's actually... Some people think Haley 1's just better than Sloane. I disagree. Because Guided Fire, I think, is better than Temporal Barrier just from a defense...
It objectively
what you're
is.
doing.
It gives you a higher bonus, but it only affects your battle group.
Well, also, you only take a battle group.
Right, but
But-
also it doesn't affect melee attacks.
But
so you,
positionally, it's better because
It
you're
is.
you're buffing your troops. Only your jacks have to be in your control area versus having to debuff enemy models.
there is no question that Sloane is massively more safe than
Yes.
than Haley is.
Also, Haley 1 doesn't have the gun.
Right,
Haley 1 doesn't do
personal work,
12
worth.
points of damage to an armor 20 target every turn.
Yeah,
And she's got
Kara
nothing.
will outdamage defenders reliably.
Yes.
So that's very important to remember as well. And the distance at which she does it is ridiculous. Like, Killbox is very important to remember on her because she can commonly play in your deployment zone while still affecting the game.
Oh, yeah. Was she speed 7 or speed 6?
6. Okay, so those are the things that Kara does. The reason it's good is because she takes a lot of quality guns and makes them even better, and then increases the number of attacks you can get per round with her feat, which is really important.
Signar traditionally has had a bunch of like pretty decent shooting, I think.
Yeah, they
the
generally
board.
were...
And this kind of just turns it up to 11 or 12, so...
Yeah. They generally took lots of quality guns. Beforehand, you saw a lot more lower powers and higher volumes. Now you're seeing a lot more
again,
just quality.
People aren't taking gun mages anymore because they lost True Sight.
You don't need them because now everything in your battle group has True Sight with her.
That's true, but if you have like mass stealth unit or just a stealth unit running alongside Jax, she does have to make a choice.
The storm wall fixes that a lot, though.
It does, because
you cover fire to slow them down, and then once they get within range, you just shoot them.
Yeah,
Stormwall is really important, I think, for her, and a lot of people don't realize that.
I agree.
Do they have flare infection?
Yes.
Gunmage Captain Adept has Flare and Shadow Fire.
Oh, and he can pick two things now. I had no idea what he did until I was watching some battle reports online. I'm like, and I've heard people mention the model, but I didn't know
How's he doing two?
So I pull out my phone, I'm like, wait, holy fuck. Like, he has Shadow Fire.
Yeah.
They have, like, just on a stick, here's Shadow Fire.
Flare, Shadow Fire, Snipe, and Brutal.
It's like, it's so good.
Yeah, just Snipe Brutal with him every turn is annoying.
It is, but Snipe Flare is also annoying.
Yeah.
If you need it, you have Snipe Flare. If you need it, you have Shadow Fire. It's like he just has... He's a boss.
Yeah,
all right, so the next question Spence wrote down is, who fucking cares? So people that care are people that have
Armies.
a limited number of quality models. So, like, for example, if you took 3 Crusaders with Menoth, and for some reason didn't take Choir, so Passage isn't a problem for her, then... Which, is an exception. So just any, like Mercenaries, I have 3 Nomads, because my Nomads are going to kill all your Jacks. So, okay. But against Kara, she can easily remove 3 Heavies long before you get to her. Mm-hmm. Like, she'll kill that in 2 turns. So now you're out of Heavies, and you have to kill 6 or 7 Warjacks.
Yeah, I would say armies that aren't fast and armies that aren't durable to guns.
Yeah. So she likes to prey on people that have low model count, with no way to stop her from particularly taking them apart. Mm-hmm. So Menoth generally has an answer with Passage, but the Signar list has a lot of ways to deal with that. One of the objectives gives magical weapons. Arlen Strangeways gives magical weapons, and she personally has a magical weapon. And with Reinhold, she's getting 2 or 3 shots a turn. Anyone who has a problem with that is going to have a problem with Kara. Moving on to who doesn't give a fuck, which is the third question for Spence. Good job.
Hey, 3 very simple things.
People that don't give a fuck are people that have enough models to overwhelm her ranged attacks while maintaining enough offensive ability to kill her army.
So, do you think, though, that Sloane players will know that that's a weakness and start building to it? Because, I mean, she kind of naturally removes Jacks just by taking like a Storm Wall and 3 Hunters, but that still leaves you...
But it gets... I think if you start
like
going...
40 points.
If you start going that direction, then you become very vulnerable to the armor skew. I don't think she actually covers everything, which I think we should preempt this with saying I think she's the worst one on the list of 3. Sure. I think we agree on that. So if she's the worst on the list, then we can expect her to have some problems.
Haley 2, I think, covers armor skews pretty well. Haley 3 does also.
Actually, depends on your list, yeah. I mean, assume you're selling out for armor at that point.
Yeah, I think so. Fast hard-hitting models, I think, is how you play Haley 2 now.
Yeah. So that's fair. But I guess at that point, why are you playing Sloane? If your other list is your armor-breaking list, I mean, Sloane's okay, but a lot of the guns that kill infantry aren't necessarily on Warjacks.
I mean, a lot of people think Kane 2 is better.
I think if that's your list pair, I think Kane 2 or Haley 1 might be better.
Would Avengers be good with Sloane?
Potentially, but they are very short range. We were actually looking at Reliance. We thought Reliance might have a place because they have electrical damage guns, so the Firefly picks them up to like POW 15 if you can get in position. Which they also leave their electrical blasts.
Yeah, they also have a covering fire type thing.
Yeah, they have area denial.
So if you...
So maybe just take Reliance because it's hard to swarm them.
I think with a Stormwall, though, and then...
Stormwall helps a lot. I'm not going to
like
say it doesn't.
Chargers or Grenadiers, I think she can put enough attacks down to kill enough infantry.
Yeah.
Because she just has to kill enough.
Right, yeah. You just got to take it... while not losing on scenario, you have to take enough on the board to where you can weather the storm.
Right.
That's your goal. So I think a lot of and they actually said this on the forums, but I'll cover that in a second. Initially with Kara, you're going to see a lot of people wanting to play like 9 hunters or like 5 defenders and stuff like that.
I think we're already past that.
And right,
Yeah,
so that's the initial shock impression. Is like, oh my god, just spam super good guns. And we saw that for a little bit. And now we're seeing people starting to back off a little bit and like, well, maybe I'll drop like 20 to 30% of my super elite guns for things that like support pieces like Arlen, and then maybe like a unit Blazers or something like that, Trenchers maybe. Something that kind of fixes my problems. And then at this point we're seeing people just building like balanced lists. Because they're like, well, I guess I kind of probably win that matchup anyway. So then they're just building like, I'm going to have Blazers and like...
Which is the original
Isn't
thought
that
of...
just Mark
Right.
III shock in
Blazers
general?
or Trenchers.
Right, and
or...
this is exactly, if you listen to Hungerford, I think he was on Chain Attack at one point.
Yeah.
He specifically says, like, you're going to see a lot of people running, like, 9 hunters and, like, all battle group models, and then you'll see them back off a little bit, and then you'll see them just start building normal lists again. Like, what we would consider still heavy battle group from Mark II, because it was Mark II. And then, but we're seeing, like, 3, maybe 5 jacks, and then, like, a unit or 2, and then that's some solos. Mm-hmm. And we're already seeing that. So I think... Obviously, the people that had more experience with it know what they're talking about a little bit. Maybe they weren't dead on, but they have the right idea.
Mm.
So
any specific casters who do well against her, you think?
I think anyone who can actually deny shooting, is it Vindictus?
Yeah.
Can potentially stop. I mean,
Passage
just
army.
Menoth in general becomes an issue because if you can put enough shield guards in the list to make passage actually matter, then it becomes a real problem.
The right troll list.
Like all you have, like actually something that might Durst, Vindictus, what's his name? Severius 2, and then just from Menoth, I think those 3 have, and then no, I already said Durst. Those 3 specifically have a lot of game, I think. Also Amon, just because his battle group gets there so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
See that.
So those 4 just from Menoth, I think, are serious problems for her. Not saying she can't win, but I think she has to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Passage is really strong into that matchup if you can get the shield guards.
Yeah.
Moving on to trolls, I think there's some armor bricks she has problems with.
I think specifically because of warders.
Warders help the matchup a huge amount. 5 shield guards a turn and probably multiple turns of those shield guards. In addition to the stone, if she's taking hunters, the stone buff isn't negated by armor piercing. So
Nope.
I was looking at... hunters are... I was just trying to do the math in my head, trying to be better at doing the math, but they're power 6...
I think it's like armor 18 becomes better for the hunter, and then anything above armor 18 is just better for the hunter. I'm pretty sure.
It's unbelievable how...
It's way better than the defender, and it's noticeably less points.
I think they actually missed on... I think one of the biggest problems with Sloane is I think hunters are too cheap.
They might be, because there's a lot of lists where people just take like 4 hunters, and you're like, yeah, that's really good.
That's probably... Yeah, a lot of Signar lists. Like,
Hunters probably should have been 13, not 11. But I mean, that's...
At least 12. Though, at
least 12.
That point, you're like... Man,
You're just splitting hairs at that
Hunter and a Juggernaut. Those are the same.
point. Hunter beats a Juggernaut.
Does it? Does it shoot from far enough away?
Yeah. I mean, if you're throwing in caster buffs, then the Hunter could have refuge or could have snipe or...
Could have snipe.
You could be under
the
temporal
Juggernaut
barrier.
could also be like
Hardly
speed
ever
13.
will.
You could just be in rough terrain, so...
Plus, it doesn't have to aim most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hits on 4s.
Can literally just back up every turn.
Is it?
Rat 7.
It's Rat 7?
Yeah, it's always been Rat 7.
That's right.
It's unbelievable.
Now, I mean, it's hard to say it should have been 12
Pathfinder.
because it lost parry, which was actually a really good rule on the Hunter. But it's still really strong.
Yeah.
It still has 1-inch melee, too. Like, it even got a buff in its melee range.
I think 13 would have been
13's
fine
probably
for
fine.
hunters.
But if you're splitting hairs at 105 points, like 2 points per hunter is probably not really
It just
crippling.
keeps you, I think, from taking that extra hunter.
Keeps you honest. Yeah.
I'm wondering if maybe just the overall game balance kind of keeps it. I mean, because is that viable? Can someone just do that and realistically
Just do what?
just take hunters then at that point?
No.
I mean, is that good?
I don't think that list is actually competitive. Like,
That's what I'm
like
talking
they
about.
said it
Okay.
was.
No. But, like, you can
I
just
think if you
take
add in some grenadiers,
3 hunters
maybe.
in every list. And then if you raise the points by 2,
If-
that just takes 2. Or, like, you just take 2 hunters, but then you're missing out on assault. You're missing out on a...
So
a
the question
GMCA or
becomes,
something.
like, obviously they're fairly different because one's a heavy and one's not, but defender versus hunter, why would you ever spend 5 more points on a defender when the hunter does more range damage? It loses 2 inches of range, but does more damage. It has a higher rat. It's faster.
It just flat out does more damage.
But once the models get there, I'd rather
the
have a
defenders-
defender, but
yeah.
it's 5 more points.
2 hunters or 3 hunters or 2 defenders.
we're looking at, or we can take a mix of the two, and that's kind of what I think you have to wind up doing, right?
Hunters and defenders?
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
You don't think it works that way? You
I
don't
don't
think
think it
people might,
does.
but-
Maybe. I think Stormwall is still better than 2 defenders.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it depends on the buffs you can put on it, but yeah.
In general, yes. Specifically for this list and any list with Arlen, you get to focus more power through your single model buffs.
Right, if you need magical weapons, you almost... Like, I think we all agree that Kara's going to take a Stormwall. Like, people
should.
just
I've
automatically...
not seen that yet, and I just really think it'd be cool to
I
see.
think it's really important that she takes a Stormwall. It
I
gives
agree.
her the piece that can't be removed nearly as easily as anything else.
Yep.
Cover fires are amazingly important for her.
I work way too much, way more than I play, and being able to just go online and reforms. I hate keyboard cowboys. I hate people who play the game based upon theory online. That's not what I ever care about at all. It's really, really annoying. But help yourself. I can't stand the fact that most of my workday is reading forums and articles of people talking about the game, and it's just theory crafting, it seems. And I honestly, with my little weekly play experience, I kind of curious that most people know what the hell they're talking about. So the world ending being Kara Sloane, like that's the most annoying thing to read about right now.
She's really good. And she, like the whole theory crafting thing, I haven't played against Madrak yet. I need to.
Yeah, I've been hearing that since before Mark III rules actually dropped. Ryan has been going on and on about Madrak 2 and how it's unbelievable, and I keep hearing people say it, but I've not seen him on the table once.
Also, he went to the first major of... He wasn't at Rocky Mountain Rumble, but he was at WIGC this weekend and went 5-0.
Ryan was?
No,
Oh,
Madrak 2.
Did he really?
Or it was the same weekend as Rocky Mountain Rumble, so I guess 2 weekends ago now.
Okay.
And from listening to Chad's battle reports, it doesn't sound like it was ever close.
Actually, that's our next part here at Madrak 2.
Sure, we can talk about Madrak.
Here, Karl, what the fuck does Madrak 2 do?
So Madrak 2 has a couple of rules that are... Let me pull them up on War Room.
Like, what I'm looking for here is, I'm sitting down, I'm looking across the table, I am a player that's fairly casual, but I know what most of the models do. I spend
probably
plenty
gonna
of time
lose
reading. Yeah, I understand that, but what the fuck is he going to do that I'm like, what?
So
How did
he's speed 6, mat 8, POW 15. He has 2-inch reach, so he threats 11. He has a rule called Wrathrock's Awakening. This model gains 1 fury point each time it destroys a living enemy model with this weapon.
Holy shit. And from what I remember about the feat, they switched the feats, right?
Yeah, he switched feats.
He
with
has
Madrak
Berserk
2.
and Overtake.
So he gets Berserk and Overtake. So,
Are you fucking kidding me?
no.
Okay.
And he goes above his Fury stat.
Yeah, and
Yeah, he can just literally walk through and kill
And
everything.
he gets Fell Card to Mat 10. So
Yes.
he needs not one.
And he's a medium base with 2-inch reach.
Yes. So he can bridge his...
What are we missing?
He can spend Fury to surf.
Yeah, well, it's like he just keeps surfing until he doesn't, and then he buys an attack.
I just don't think it's reasonable to space out your infantry enough.
That a 2-inch reach having medium base can't get to it?
Yeah. No, what you could do is you can use rough terrain, because it doesn't have Pathfinder. No, he can't. No, the Fell Caller gives him Relentless Charge.
Oh, he does now?
Well, he always did, but Relentless Charge used to say...
Has Relentless, I thought.
He has Relentless.
Oh, does he have Relentless?
Has Grievous Wounds.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, no, you're right. Friendly faction, warrior model, such unit gains Pathfinder. So yeah, he can
And
get
he has
Pathfinder.
Warpath.
But then he's not
And he has Blood Fury.
And he has Warpath, so he can Berserk and Overtake till he runs out of models. And if there's a model within 5 inches of them, then he can Warpath and start the chain again. So,
Well, he can't. A War Beast can go off
there
War
they
Beast.
did change that.
That's kind
Yeah.
of unbelievable. Okay. It has to destroy a living enemy model. That's something. So,
Yeah, but there's not a lot of
other things that matter.
there's not a lot of non-living models out there right now. I mean, Crix has kind of disappeared.
Even then, it's like what he can easily kill a Warjack. Then he's gonna Warpath one of his
Once he kills all your
Warjacks.
infantry, he can kill all the Warjacks.
I didn't realize it was living. Go Convergence.
Yeah, no, Convergent, like, Axis shuts him down completely.
Oh
I'm
god!
just like, oh, you killed those models.
Yep. That happened.
Well, Berserk doesn't require living.
Right.
No, Berserk and Overtake do not require living. So
But he's going to stack up on Fury at least.
I need to play against him. I want to see...
God.
He just kills your whole army still.
Okay, are we done covering what he does yet? I don't think we are.
No,
Well,
add whatever because you haven't said anything yet.
Another trick that a lot of people don't realize is if he has a night troll in his list,
Yeah, that's dumb.
he can do a stupid trick. Let's say he's moving like he's carving a hole through a 10-man unit. So you've got them in like this oval pattern. He's just walking through the middle of them. Well, as he overtakes through the last guy, he casts a tractor for 1. Since he's gained like 4 fury now, he's at like 10. So he goes down to 9, and he pulls everyone within 2 inches towards him. Then he moves. And then he kills one of them, and moves an inch, and pulls them all again.
To do it before overtake?
No, you don't get an opportunity, I believe. So you have to overtake, but that's just what... So you overtake twice, cast a tractor. Overtake twice, cast a tractor. And so basically what you do is you end up dragging like 6 dudes with you to bridge the gap to a new unit. But because you're gaining the attacks for free, you're actually gaining a fury every 2 attacks and still moving the pile of guys with you.
Yep. So the whole point of this like...
So people are like, well, just space out. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like,
I don't think there's enough space. I think Karl's absolutely right. There's not... Well, no,
if he doesn't have a tractor and your models are not within 7 inches of each other, he cannot bridge the gap without Warpath. But I don't know if Warpath lets him move.
No, it doesn't anymore. It changed.
So just split your army into 5 chunks that are not within 7 inches of each other. And he's basically limited to 1 chunk.
Now that's bad for other reasons.
Yeah, I'd like 20% of my army to face 100%
But you know
of
what's
the troll
also
army.
bad? Not having models.
Yeah, no, you're right.
The first time Ryan played it against Wormwood, he killed 3 full units of dudes, 2 Gallows Groves, 2 Heavies, and Wormwood in 1 activation. Madrak killed that and got there with like 38 Fury or some shit and killed Wormwood. Anyone that thinks that couldn't have ever happened before is wrong, because that shit happened before.
Yeah, Butcher too.
It was just so unlikely because he wasn't as good at it.
Well, and Butcher 2 doesn't get
He didn't
infinite
gain fury for it.
He didn't get infinite. No, he's Madrak 2 is
and
better
Fury.
at it, but the thing could happen.
The thing I don't like about Madrak is how reliable it is now.
Yes, I
just
do
doesn't.
have a problem with that.
Butcher also doesn't have grievous wounds.
I'm not saying he's not better at it. He's just the same mechanic.
Can I reverse my next 2 questions?
No.
We haven't asked them yet, so you can do really whatever you want.
Okay, well, fine. I want to go who doesn't give a fuck. Like, who says anything to that?
There's one caster.
One caster.
We got to save that.
us all.
We have to save that for last. Go with the other question.
Okay. Who fucking cares? So,
Everyone.
Everyone.
So the other problem with him is he obviously eats infantry bricks alive. Like you
Right.
cannot play infantry bricks against him.
So Tactica for playing against him, what lists will do well against him? I think actually high armor bricks do decent because
But-
you cannot let him do anything with the feet.
True, but he also has Blood Fury, which makes all of his models into
It
weapon
does.
masters.
I'm not saying it doesn't. It
and
does.
that's really bad for
It
armor
only makes
bricks.
warrior models weapon masters.
So his
But he's camping every turn, so his battle group can't do a whole lot without just frenzying, right?
he usually doesn't have a very big battle group. Well, I say usually, we don't really have usual lists right now. But the Chad's list that went to the WITC, I liked it.
It was 3 units and 2 beasts, right?
Yeah, it
Or
did-
4
was-
units if you count the stone.
Yeah, it wasn't a big battle group.
Minimalist battle group while still being efficient.
And honestly, the turn you send in Mulg, you're trading him, probably.
Probably.
He's going to do a ton of work. He's going to do way more than his points, probably. I agree.
only buff for Mulg, as far as I understand, is Rush, though, right?
And Warpath.
Oh, he does have Warpath.
So that's the other thing I don't like about Madrak is there's not a list that he's not good against.
Mm-hmm.
He's good against the field because he's got tools. He's got really good tools into armor bricks.
Is Control really good against him?
Depends on how much attrition you have to back that up because it's also a really strong armor brick.
Which
And a lot of Control doesn't have the tools to break it. So I think eventually he can just tank through it.
Witcher Rusk does super tough and no knockdown.
Both.
Erusk 1.
Super, you mean 4+ tough?
Yeah.
That's 1. That's his feat.
Does he have? Sorry, I can't think of the spell. Does he have?
Inhospitable ground?
Yes.
Yes.
That could be fun.
No.
Because
Don't think so?
everything has relentless.
Grievous
That's to
wounds.
charge.
And he's got
charges
grievous
you.
wounds.
Okay, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Madrak. So
Madrak specifically will get through it, but yeah, Mulg will go into that and kill like 4 guys, maybe.
Well, it kind of slows down everything else in the army.
No, it
yeah,
does.
but it
It's
doesn't.
important.
It doesn't matter if Madrak can kill 30
Yeah, if
dudes.
he kills the rest of it.
If he gets to Irusk ever after he's camped 2.
Yes. So that's the whole point of like that show is that Madrak gets to your caster with 20 fury.
Right.
And there's
So,
no caster in the game.
The
that
problem
can
is you have to play a list in which you don't lose automatically. That's step 1, which means An all melee infantry list does not work.
No.
Period. Does not work.
I don't think guns
Maybe
work.
gun infantry, but you have to flank that
They're
unit.
trolls, I think you're right.
Like if you have strike force or something, you just have to put them way out on the flank to where they're not endangering the rest of your army.
Yeah.
I'm honestly thinking this has to be something where you're going to have to outplay the fuck out of your opponent because equal grounds you're not.
Maybe.
I just think that's
Karl wants zebra
that's
cakes.
unfucking reasonable. That's crazy.
Give Karl zebra cake.
I should start listening to Ryan more.
You're like, God, I thought he was retarded. That's actually just broken.
He just fucking kept whining about how good he was. I was like, oh my god. Now I haven't read the card and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
There's a reason. I mean, he did think like Maulers were garbage. So
And just think,
why is Grievous
Madrak's
so
already
bad?
been nerfed.
it's not super. I mean, it's not as
Still
stupid as it
broken.
used to be, but
It's
you just
So
don't
he
get
used
tough.
to be physically unkillable.
This says
now
if a
he's
model
just
is
really
hit,
hard to
it doesn't
kill.
have damage removed from it.
He used to be able to
Yeah, so can't
redirect
tough,
if you tried
basically.
to TK him, redirect it to a model within 3 inches of him.
What are you saying? You can transfer.
Okay.
you can so
You
tough,
can transfer. You didn't used to be able to.
so the point of Grievous Wounds is like tough can't stop his surfing now.
Right. There is no. You lose 30% of your attacks. You just walk through it. I think
So how do you kill
honestly,
him?
I think the change that needs to happen is he needs to not be affected by the feat because that allows everyone to play against him again.
Yeah, but does it take him off the table?
I feel like he's designed,
Okay, we're talking about mold with surfing, which was ridiculous in Mark 1.
Yeah, I agree.
And that is, and then we're like, it's just Mold. What's he gonna do? Like we're like, okay, I'm fine with Mold surfing. Like that's cool. Like we're at that point.
We're at
like,
least okay,
clearly
we're
there's a
happier that
problem.
I mean, it's better than it is now.
It's way better.
So you're talking about just him
Way
being
better.
capped at his Fury stat?
Well, it wouldn't be as big of a deal if he didn't get the feat. I'm fine with him going over his Fury Cap if he doesn't get the feat.
I think he's gonna. I don't think that changes.
Well, I don't think it would mean anything then because he's not getting the feet.
I feel like
Well, he can still go over his Fury
I
Cap.
feel like they want him to surf. Like I feel like that's part of his design.
Then he needs to definitely not go over Fury Cap.
Definitely is a not go. over
Definitely
Fury
not
cap.
go over Fury Cap.
I mean, okay.
Still, though, I think it's stupid.
But like I've always said that if Butcher 2 didn't get random focus, like he would be one of the most broken casters in the game.
If
And this proves my point.
Butcher 2 is silly strong if he gets to surf. Like, if he gets to the point in which he's making attacks, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have grievous wounds. He's actually lower mat. He does hit harder, though. He ends up being lower mat with the fell collar.
Yeah. Madrak's Mat 10 with the fell collar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Matt 10, realistically PS 18 if he wants to.
Right.
No,
So
'cause
what
you
you're
can't rate
saying is
yourself.
like Butcher 2 is not as good as Madrak if he
PS15
always
weapon
rolls
master.
like a 7.
if he rolled a 7 every turn, he's not as good as Madrak.
Yeah, and that's insane.
Yeah,
I
that's
always
a
thought-
problem.
Yeah. It's a real problem.
I think.
Is this being recognized?
What do you mean?
Well, what I'm saying
No,
is,
everyone's in agreement that
enough
Madrak's
people are
really
playing it,
stupid.
though.
I think he's the strongest one on this list by a noticeable gap.
I don't think it's noticeable, but I do think he is the best.
I honestly can't think of anything that I could.
I think
roll
if
that
there
could
were
play against
5 slots for top 3, it'd be 1, 3, 5. That's my opinion on this list. I think Wormwood is 3, Kara's 5, and he's 1.
Who's 2 then?
No, I'm just saying there's gaps because that's the difference between them.
I don't think so. I think you're undervaluing Wormwood. I think Wormwood's really
I think
stupid.
but there's just I think
I think what I
We'll
do
get
think
to
about
that.
Wormwood is that we'll get to him, but I'll just say this. I think he's got a higher skill floor. I think it's harder to play Wormwood well. But I think Wormwood is every bit as broken as Madrak.
then
too.
Madrak probably. I don't think he's as good, but I do think he's harder to play.
I think
Okay.
I think he's as I think
You can
he's
literally
as good.
win by accident with Madrak too.
That, I think Madrak is better, but I don't think it's a very big gap.
I think this is unreasonably unfun to play against just by the thought of it. Like
It punishes you for taking models, and that's not a good way. That's not a good. Game
That's kind of
design.
how I feel about
Because you
Kara,
can't even
but not
play
nearly on the
heavies.
same level.
Not even close.
Yeah.
you can't
But
play
like-
heavies
No.
because
like-
he's playing trolls and
You
He
can't-
has Blood Fury, so they're all weapon masters.
Yeah, so you can't play heavies. I agree. You can't play infantry because if you do,
I,
Madrak
I
just
think
beats you.
You do play heavy. Well, I mean, obviously,
you have
because-
to play heavies, but
right.
it's,
You have to
it's
beat a troll brick with heavies.
a bad matchup.
You have to beat a troll brick with
what's a
blood
good
frenzy.
matchup?
There's
what?
not a good. Well, so can we talk
Okay,
about
so
that?
next.
Is it time?
God, who doesn't give a
All
fuck?
right, who doesn't give a fuck? Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Me.
Fiona the Black.
Yeah, Fiona the Black
Shut
I
up.
think just fucking wrecks him.
Fiona the Black wrecks
God
him.
damn it, I hate you fuckers. Now, for those of you listening who have no idea what the fuck that model is, we're gonna
Now he's like, I guess I'll look up what that caster does.
everybody who's fucking listening, stop, pull out your goddamn war room, look up Fiona the
Everyone
Black.
else knows what Fiona the
All
Black
right,
does.
so
That's
how
not
long
fucking
should I
true.
Insert a silence for.
Probably about 20 seconds.
Give me the
20
Jeopardy.
seconds.
Go Jeopardy.
Jeopardy for 20 seconds.
I'll
She
put
has
it in.
Roth's Mercy, which is self-sack.
So that actually doesn't stop his surf directly.
Okay, yeah,
helps a
so
lot.
are you... Okay,
It helps though because
All right,
then you can remove
Spence.
models to break his chain.
I'm reading.
all right.
So basically, he
Hold on, I want to go over it in the list. So I don't think anything on
It's-
her
it's stupid,
personal
but-
card matters, so just start reading spells.
Okay. Her spells. Affliction.
Okay, Affliction is extremely important because it lets you kill his warders.
Mm-hmm.
So you put Affliction on the warders, it's -2 defense, and effectively you can't fail to break armor. Any roll that does not exceed armor does 1 point of damage. That used to be how you killed warders. It just took a long time because they had 40 hit points for 5 of them. Now they only have 25.
Yeah, now it's way
They
quicker.
almost lost half their hit points. So now you can just remove them in a turn or so if you have enough attacks that you can leverage to 1 unit.
25. I don't think that's that ridiculous.
No,
either.
it's not. And it's well worth it because it lets you take low POW attacks. Also, you can just like put it on Madrak and just like, I'm going to shoot you with everything. It's like, how many times are you going to sack? Like,
mean-
like once you kill the warders, if he's out there by himself, then you can just put Affliction on him, and now he should be scared.
Yeah, he should.
Every
definitely-
single attack's going to break armor.
Yeah, so I
Like
agree.
that's literally how warlocks die.
It's really it's very good against the warders, and
Right.
then it's also good against in the late game Madrak.
Yep.
Okay.
Also, -2 def is important on like Fen Blades and stuff that have set defense.
That's true.
Okay, so that's Affliction.
Then you have Influence.
Influence is okay. The Fen
That's
Blades
not-
kill the shit out of each other when they have Blood Frenzy on them.
That's true. That's real
And
true.
Affliction. Your def 8? Yeah, dead.
I think they lose that, don't they?
Do it.
Don't they lose that when you use influence?
Not
Not the one you're attacking.
Yeah, the minus death matters.
Yeah.
They're going to break armor regardless. They're
Yeah.
Fen Blades.
You lose. You're still a member of the unit.
No, you're not.
You become a solo
You
during the attack.
basically become a.
Essentially,
You don't.
yes.
I know you stop being friendly, but the debuffs on him don't matter because he's attacking one of
Will
their
you stop
models.
talking about influence as a terrible use of 2 focus?
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, so influence is not what we're talking
Thank you,
about.
Max.
Warders aren't bad at punching Madrak.
Moving on.
Or
No
Mold.
Korean brand.
That's
No,
actually
keep it.
that's
Read
really
that.
important to kill the
Target friendly faction model / unit ignores intervening models when making attacks. The weapons of affected model gain damage type magical.
You know what gun that's good on? Commodore cannons.
Yep. They ignore line of sight.
I fucking love it. Boom, I shoot him. Next turn, it's like, damn it, I can't screen him. Boom, that fuck,
can't screen.
he's dying.
I'm gonna put
Every
this-
turn, you're just like, that fuck.
I'm gonna put an incendiary shot on this guy. You're like, okay.
I've played against the Commodore cannon 1 time. I've seen it on the table 1 time.
Well, because it
Was it a good game?
I've read that model a million times. I know what it does in the most loose context.
You have no idea what it does.
You have no fucking clue until in their deployments when they're like, they just point at something huge on your side of the board and like, that thing gets wrecked and is pushed a million miles away.
Is
You're like,
Beast of Nine standing 2 inches in front of a water feature? And you're like, yeah? And he's like, ooh.
Ooh.
it's the funniest thing. Like, I wasn't even mad. I was like, that's fucking awesome.
So
that's why they
the reason you
like
never
it.
saw it was that it could only be taken in Shay's theme force.
Just with Shay in general.
Oh, could
But
be
you
taken-
only saw Shay in his theme force.
Yeah, you only saw. Fair enough. Now any privateer caster can take it,
Yep, which there are 3.
and they will
That's-
always take it because it's insane.
That's
good.
fucking. I was just like literally across
Why
the
would-
entire length
why
of the
would
table.
Bart wanna
It's like,
take
oh, and this is like
it?
this is Rat 78, and I get to roll all these dice, and then
Pretty
that thing
much.
goes away.
Rat,
I'm like,
Rat 12, POW 22 was the spray. The canister shot was Rat 12, POW 22 if you fully buffed it.
Yep.
And you're like, what the fuck? Like, excuse me? It's like, yeah, I just killed your light. And you're like, what the fuck?
dude,
Like,
it
what
was
is
so rude.
going on?
It
He's
was
like, I'll just chill by the Commodore. And you're like, no. That guy died.
It was so fucking amazing. Like I saw it do something like
You can't shield guard sprays anymore.
You sure can't.
it was.
You sure can't.
Don't get within range 10 of that thing.
Further now because it can move.
It's heavy artillery, not light artillery.
Oh, I thought it could move.
Cannot move. Thank God.
Doesn't need to.
Yeah.
But
Okay, what's next?
Okay, next is Roth's Mercy. It's an upkeep spell. When an enemy attack disables a living model in the target friendly faction unit, you can choose a non-disabled living model in the unit to be destroyed. If another model is destroyed as a result of Roth's Mercy, the disabled model removes 1 damage point.
Okay, effectively this is self-sacrifice, but with no range distance on it, simply within the unit.
Right.
Okay, so the most important thing about this is, like, say Mold charges into your Chaosies, needing 8s to hit. He hits one and kills it. You you Ross Mercy to any other model in the unit, and he doesn't get the feat.
Because he didn't kill the model.
Because he didn't kill that model. It's still there. That's very important on everything in the army but Madrak, because Madrak ignores... You can't heal on Madrak. But it is still important on Madrak because you kill the next model he's going to move to.
Yes.
The one he just killed still dies, and then you kill another one for free.
So it does two things. It's stupid that you have to do this. That you actually... that you have to kill
That it's amazing is the problem.
Yeah. So it removes, like, his... Now he starts only getting 1 Fury. Like he
For every 2 guys.
Yeah. So he's losing 2 guys. He's killing
Because
more
you're
models, but
willingly
he's losing
sacrificing more models.
So in a unit, he's only getting 5 Fury from that unit. That's important.
Unbelievable.
And also, it's potentially breaking his chain to where he can't. He could
And with
get
pre-measure,
stranded.
you can literally sit there for 5 minutes on your clock pre-measuring if you kill these 3 guys next, if he can get past that line.
Yeah.
And if he can, then you start killing further back. And you just keep going further back until he cannot get to anybody else. And you just let that die for the greater good.
Well, like, because if he can get to the whole unit, you just start killing the outmost guys in that
So
unit.
he can't get outside of that.
He can't get out. So he
Yes, feel free to just wallow in those 5 guys
Yeah.
there. Okay.
You literally start carpet bombing your own people. They're like, nope, that's just, we're going to end that. That's not going to go any further. They have Ebola, we're done. Like,
It kind of seems like maybe that's the idea of what you have to do against him anyway, no matter what you're playing, is you have to give them something like, run through, okay, you kill those, and hope he wastes his feet on some shit that... No,
yeah, but it changes the distance you have to put between your units by, like, instead of 7 inches, it's like 2. Like, that's a huge difference you can play with.
Yep. So next spell is Tellish Mark.
Yep.
That's not real important. It just gives her arc nodes that she can use.
It lets her put Affliction out, which is important, but not extremely relevant in this particular matchup.
And then Soulfire, which can help her pick.
It lets you Soulfire Madrak because he can't disregard those anymore. So if he goes empty trying to take more Fury in next turn, or he just like tries to come in on you because he doesn't understand how this works, then it lets you get an arc node wherever you want and keep Fiona safe. Okay, so next spell? Does she have more spells?
No, that's it.
Soulfire?
So then defeat.
He already said Soulfire.
Soulfiring down the Fenblades after they have Affliction on them is kind of funny.
She gets a soul from that, right?
She gets Focus, right?
Yes.
You get focus, so it costs 1 basically.
You get a focus.
It's convection, but
And it's
you get
removed
the
from play.
focus. Oh, and it
If
removes
it's boxed, she'll gain 1 focus point, and the box model is removed from play.
Until they tough.
right. They do get toughs against it.
Yep.
Meh.
But she can kind of like Machine Gun. Doesn't she get an extra, or she gets to upkeep spells for free by killing models now?
Cultist.
Killing cultists, she gets it?
No.
It used to be she got an extra focus.
No, I think she still just gets extra
I think
focus.
it's just in her control.
No.
One in there.
Choose 1 friendly Sea Dog unit at the beginning of the game to be cultists. Cultists are Thamurite models. During your control phase, this model can upkeep spells without spending focus. Instead, it can remove 1 cultist model in its control range from play for each spell upkept.
Yep.
So
You
don't
take
just-
like a unit of press gangers, so you just kill 1, like 2 a turn to get your
Yeah.
free upkeep. So she actually has 7 focus. Okay, so moving on to her feat, which is the other reason that she's really good into the matchup. Which her feat is just amazing.
Yes, her feat is just stupid.
Enemy models will roll 1 fewer die when making attack and damage rolls while under control range.
Which,
Holy shit!
yeah, Madrak cannot surf on that turn. Because
No.
you just put Chaosies up front with,
Oh, it's like
with
he's-
Ross Mercy on them, and you're like, I come in. He's like, well, okay, so you come in at mat 10, so you need a 5.
On 1 dice.
So you're boosting,
Yeah.
or not, or you have a 30% kill rate, so you boost, because obviously it's better. So you boost a hit, you kill 1, I kill the next guy, and then you move, and you're like, I guess I boost a hit again. And you're like, yeah, this isn't going to work. And he's like, yep.
So I can't actually think of another caster in the game that...
That comes nearly as close as that much denial to him.
Yeah.
McBain.
Yeah, right.
No. No.
Unfortunately, the
What about-
McBain pain train is turned around on McBain in that game.
Is he steady? He's not
I
steady,
think
is he?
LeCont's pretty good against him, probably.
I don't. I think it's an armor brick that...
How does he deal with Watcher?
It's only once.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, which means he's now knocked down and not doing anything.
You just don't go in with Madrak, though.
Yeah, you just don't go in within 6 inches of LeCont with Madrak.
I mean,
You
it's...
have to choose to activate it, correct?
But he'll just go in and kill a heavy. Like, he'll just charge you with a full unit of Fen Blades.
Mm-hmm.
He probably doesn't kill a heavy on that turn. You repair a
With
bunch
Blood
of
Fury?
feet.
POW 12 Weapon Masters against Arm 19, he kills a heavy.
Okay, so you have to feat. Well, you can't feat when the fen blades come in. You
I agree.
Just can't.
You're just going to lose a
So
heavy.
you're going to lose a heavy.
You have 3.
I don't think it
Probably have 4 or 5.
I don't think it goes. I think you're trying to outbrick Madrak too. And
Outbreaking trolls is really hard, especially Madrak.
yeah, I don't think that's gonna. I don't think Lucant would work.
I think you lose the attrition game eventually, but
I agree.
it does prevent Lucant from dying usually.
Sure, Lucant.
But you
gets-
just lose the long game.
Does
Yeah.
this matter? Because realistically, there's no way this is going to be able to stay around.
I can't
Yes.
imagine this won't get changed after people actually start playing Madrak too.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
But
people.
that's not going to be till January. I fully expect.
We don't know that, but
You're right. When is the WTC?
yeah, the week before that.
Okay.
So,
you also
September
got-
1st.
You also got Gen Con coming up. So.
What's that?
You also got Gen Con coming up.
I don't think.
Do you know
it's
how
gonna-
magical it will be? I'm just saying, I would love it if literally every single player at Gen Con was playing Trolls and Madrak too. I would love it.
Every single one.
Every
I mean-
single list, and like PP looks at this and they're all like,
To be fair, Madrak 2 would only have 50% win rate.
that's true.
That's true. So fair and balanced, clearly.
Yep.
Absolutely. God damn it.
See what you've done.
I just think it would be fucking magical.
There just
see
needs to
that.
be 10 people, and they are the top 8, and then the 2, 9, and 10. Like, what if there was just 8, and there was only 8 people out of like 75, and they all made top 8? That would be absolutely amazing.
That would mean the errata
That would be a
probably
next
drop
day
in
errata,
next week.
yeah.
Actually, errata. I wanted to point that out. Something that kind of actually irks me. Errata coming out like a fucking month after the decks are released. So I bought my fucking cards, and errata comes out, and
It doesn't matter. Those cards were going to be wrong eventually.
it's just fucking annoying.
I mean,
sorry,
but
it's just fucking
okay,
annoying.
of all the erratas, 90% of them were just wording cleanups.
I know.
Which realistically don't matter on the card at all. Like Tactician, what the fuck does that matter
They
on the
also
card?
did-
They added one word.
They also did give you the ability to print off cards online now because it was so soon.
Yes. And it's all in War Room, and War Room updates itself, and I have all of them.
So really, you
They're
should
gonna
just
sell
play
card
War Room.
packs.
I do, but I fucking like having
They're
the
going to
cards
sell
in
card
front
packs,
of
but
me.
not for a year. Those are coming out until next year.
They're doing those
Looks like in
annually.
January. Right.
Oh, I don't know.
It might be January because
It might
they're
be
just going to do it at
January.
the start of the year, but
Yeah.
they might do lock and load as well. So
I assumed it'd be lock and load.
Who knows?
But yeah, they said those are going to be annual.
So fucking
I mean,
ridiculous.
they can say whatever they want. They can also do whatever they want. So
True.
They said they would never make plastic minis. They said they would never do a Mark II.
I mean,
they
I-
said they would never do a pre-painted miniatures game.
I would rather, honestly, them release the errata and fix the rules
I agree.
that are
I agree.
Oh,
don't
100%.
work
Yeah.
than worry about your cards.
It's just annoying.
Well, I mean,
It is annoying. I agree. It's annoying to
I mean,
buy
I'd like-
something and then like 3 weeks later it's out of date.
And I just don't like thinking about when I first started the game and I hardly knew anything and I was just going simply off the cards because I wasn't part of the larger community that actually did anything else. I understand that's not who they're catering to, but it's just
I agree, but
they can't change. I'd rather
that
have
bothered
the errata.
me. That bothered me in Mark II because they didn't do anything to update cards, and I saw some new player go to like his first or second tournament with
Gatsby 2.
with a Lich 2 card, and it was like, yeah, so I'm going to bring back like 2 axes and Banelord Tartarus, and then
and like,
your opponent was
and
like
2 Soul Hunters, and
your opponent was like, oh, buddy, we need to have a talk, Judge.
I could one up that. I had an opponent run at me and then feat with Gatsby 2, and I'm like,
Well, like a fundamental misunderstanding of the rules.
Right.
This guy understood the rules as he was given and
Right.
was playing by those rules, and they were just so. They are at least updating cards. They're selling updated card packs. That's a big step forward.
Little thing that I'd like to see, honestly, just if you want to stay clean, if you sent in your old card, if they sent you the new one, I don't know how big of a deal that would be, but it really fucking annoys me. It just does that if I want to do anything during a game at all to make sure it's 100% precise, I have to use War Room.
Printing cards does cost money.
It does, but hell,
But-
pay for it. I'd pay for it. I would. You know me, but I just don't like the idea of. First off, I've used War Room.
I do
like,
wish they
well, I
would
mean,
give you the
they're going to
option.
let you do that, just not right now.
I do wish that they would immediately like just update them online. So if you wanted to print out cards, you could. They're not going to. They did this time, but they're said they're
That's
not going
not
to
going
in
to
the
be the norm.
future.
Yeah.
I wish it was, but oh well.
Okay, so I think we've talked about Madrak 2, so let's move on to Wormwood. What does Wormwood do? Starting off,
yeah, I'd actually like to hear this.
I
'cause
hope you don't enjoy having line of sight to your opponents.
I hope you don't enjoy doing things in this
Yeah.
game because you're not
This
going to
is
get to
pretty
really
much
do
the
anything.
opposite of Madrak 2.
It's like Haley. It's a lot like Haley 2 in Mark 2.
Haley 3, I think.
No, I would say Haley 2.
Really?
That she just their feet turn just didn't let you do anything, And then her arm
but
is set
Haley
up.
3 is just not going to let you do anything all the time.
So he's armor 21.
If you can't ignore clouds and don't have...
There wasn't a lot that ignored clouds in Mark 2.
Oh.
There was a whole faction that did it.
There was one rule. He has a spell that creates a 4-inch wide forest. Cassius, who is his attachment, it's a solo, has Fertilizer, which, when killing any model, including a friendly model, even a non-living model if it's undead, creates a 3-inch forest on the center of the destroyed model. So what they will do is they'll put the big forest in the middle usually. They'll put Cassius on one side, and he'll kill 2 Swamp Shamblers, which will create 2 new 3-inch forests. And on the other side, he'll have his 2 Sentry Stones and Mannequins port forward, and then each of them will create a forest on themselves.
Yeah.
So he'll have 4 3-inch forests and 1 4-inch forest, creating 17 inches of forest, something like that. 16 inches of forest.
16, right. If it's an objective, a central objective, you can also use the fuel cache cloud.
Yeah, so if they can't see through clouds, then you get another 4 inches.
Yeah, so it's a 20-inch blocking
20-inch
line of sight
wide, no
wall.
line of sight, unless you can see through clouds or forests. And if you can see through clouds, it only shrinks to 16.
Yeah.
And he'll know that in advance. So, good luck.
So he's got incredible line of sight denial, incredible movement denial, because if you don't have Pathfinder, it's not like a cloud. You just can't walk through it.
Yeah.
So then he has Stranglehold.
Stranglehold is an incredibly good nuke that also has a large control mechanic.
It might be the best spell in the game.
I don't think it's the best spell in the game. I think it's the best 2-cost spell in the game, maybe. On a potentially 10 Fury caster, it's probably the best 2-cost
Potentially. There's nothing. He's just 10 Fury.
No, I mean, if you consider him in a vacuum of he is Fury 10.
Wormwood gathers souls in his control area, so he goes from being 7
Right,
to 10.
but
effectively.
it's the fact that he can just rapid fire it. That's why it becomes stupid.
Yes.
If Madrak 2 had Stranglehold, it'd be irrelevant. Like he would almost never cast
He
it.
would cast it, but it would just be he would pay for it.
Right.
Essentially, where Wormwood really doesn't pay for it. He also has Hellmouth, which I hear is a good spell.
Hellmouth is a stupidly strong spell. Usually the way he'll use Hellmouth is he'll port one of his
on
stones,
Denagra.
or he'll run a
It's-
sentry
Yeah, it's
or a
incredibly strong in
mannequin
Denagra,
into
too.
position and Hellmouth that, which actually allows him to basically say, your positioning was terrible because all of your models have to not be within 7 inches of another model. All of them to not trigger Hellmouth on 2 people.
The thing that gets me is
If not way more than that.
it moves you further than TK.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and TK, I thought the longest time was the strongest spell in the game.
It lets you change facing where Hellmouth doesn't.
Sure.
But Hellmouth also just kills dudes where TK does not.
Sure.
Yeah, I think
What?
Hellmouth is too strong. It needs to not trigger on enemies.
And
Just
that's
like
that's
Fertilizer and Hellmouth should not trigger on enemies.
So, one thing he can do
Friendlies?
is...
I'm sorry, on friendlies. I'm
Yes.
thinking it from the other player's perspective.
So one thing he can do is he can port a beast, complete with an 8, and then put 2 mannequins,
or shifting stones or whatever.
or shifting stones, or one 3 inches from the beast, and then another one 3 inches from that, drawing a line to, like, say, your caster. Cast Hellmouth twice, drag the beast 6 inches. So now
And your
Getarex
caster 3 inches.
Yeah, so now Getarex has an
17-inch threat range.
17-inch threat.
Yeah. So Getarex has a 17-inch threat range.
Further than that, right?
While forfeiting his movement. Because he ports 8, he gets drug 6, and you get drug 3.
Yeah, okay.
What the fuck? And the whole time you don't get to play your army because you're looking at forest.
You're looking at
Exactly.
forest and, like, your biggest and most important heaviest Stranglehold every turn.
And then let's
You mean
talk
there's
about...
like 6 models with Tree Walker in the game.
there are like 6.
That's
Oh, we're not done yet. He also has his feet, which we haven't covered yet. His
true.
feet, and depending on how you read this, either instantly creates a forest that is a 14-inch radius, not diameter radius, or creates a 14-inch forest that follows him around,
yeah.
depending on how you read it.
Nobody really knows which it does.
Yeah, it hasn't been clarified yet. Someone brought up the fact that it's actually the way it's worded is more like a pulse would be than a aura. So if he can drop a 14-inch radius forest and then teleport away, actually it's not. It's 15-inch radius forest because his base
Because
size.
his base size.
And
Is he
then
a
he
large
can.
base?
He's the large base. He's the tree.
Yeah.
It's no longer the little
Yeah.
dude. It's now the tree.
Yeah,
He also gets an arc node for free with his little
with Cassius.
buddy dude, who is a 14-16 with 10 boxes.
And it works just like Old Witch's Scrapjack. They have the same...
Yeah, the dark path.
They have the unseen path. Now, interesting point. If you can manage to kill one member of each Shifting Stone unit and Cassius, he can't move.
Yeah,
Which in a kill box scenario is really interesting. He has the lowest stat line in the game by far.
His
If
feat
you combine
also,
all of his stats.
his feat also does 1 point of damage to a model that gets knocked down still.
Forgot about that. So, no tough.
Yeah, basically.
No, not immune to knockdown tough.
Right.
Luckily, IRUS 2 does not give a fuck about that rule.
What makes him broken?
Okay, yeah. Who fucking
The problem
cares?
is he has way too much control on one card, and he naturally deals with infantry. Hellmouth alone will deal with like 3 units of infantry.
Yeah, Hellmouth is insane.
Mainly because the line of sight gives him enough time to do it.
Also, the change from command to control on his feet was
It's really strong. And I
on
think
top of removing a lot of the outs
Right.
for Forest.
Forrest got buffed, and all of his forest manipulation got buffed. So
You're giving him plus 2 inches on his control range.
yeah,
Yeah, he used to be
increasing
Fury
his
6.
fury stat.
I mean, he used to get 11 Fury because he used to be able to gain 5.
Yeah, but then they just gave him
Now
plus
he
1
just
natural.
gets 10 and he's magic ability 7.
They also buffed.
Which, in my opinion, is better.
Yeah,
On top of that, he's probably the hardest caster in the game to kill.
yeah, because he has prowl. He's pretty much always going to be armor 21,
Well,
and
can,
he has transfers.
can we point out the fact that this army has more instances of prowl than probably anything in the game? And on his
Well,
feet
sure,
and everything
circle
has
has both
stealth.
prowl. The problem isn't seeing through the fucking stealth. It's just seeing his
You
model.
can't-
Well, I'm
doesn't
saying,
matter
even
if they
if you
have stealth
do
or
have
not.
the capacity, it's like that's...
If you can see through a forest, you can probably just ignore stealth because the only models that see through a forest have Tree Walker,
Yeah.
which have melee weapons.
It's not the same, though.
I guess the Blood Pack is screwed. Get wrecked, Blood Pack. You're literally worthless because the one time you get to see through a forest, you can't even hurt the thing. You can't hit or hurt the thing.
So who cares?
Anyone that doesn't have Tree Walker.
Anyone that, can't ignore forests and has models.
The problem is anything below armor like 18 or 19 infantry, which is pretty hard when you consider that movement manipulation is going to be around with Hellmouth. Anyone with low armor heavies, the Warples will just shred anything that's below armor like 22.
And even like shield wall troops, it's real easy to get the Hellmouth behind them, so
I actually think shield wall troops are the way to go against Hellmouth. And I thought about this a lot after my game with Brent. The natural defense is, I think, to deploy in a straight line. Because if you drop a Hellmouth on a unit deployed in a straight line, I think your maximum number of guys you hit is 3. If you don't cast it on them. If you cast it on one of the guys in the line, you get 4. Right? Or is it 5? No, it's either 3 or 5. No, they're wider than an inch. So no, you would only hit the 3 if they're in a straight line.
yeah.
So you only hit 3 guys with a Hellmouth.
You only hit
And no
3.
one moves unless you cast it again.
Right.
And then if you would have to cast it on one of the guys and hit 3 again, but then they're all in base again.
Yeah.
So I think shield wall guys are actually the way you play against Hellmouth.
Well, no, not shield wall guys, but just you line your infantry in lines.
Yeah, in general. So if you're already deploying in lines, then I think, and you can't have line of sight to stuff, so you're not charging, you might as well have shield wall troops.
Yep.
So I actually think shield wall troops are really good against Hellmouth if you know what you're doing. And I think that means you have to deploy in lines.
So also, Spence, some stealth ignoring guns are really important against Wormwood because
Yes,
we haven't
absolutely.
really covered probably his card already makes him probably a plus borderline S tier caster.
Yeah.
What really brings him, I think, to true S tier needs to be fixed caster is the Sentry Stones.
The Sentry Stones are fucking stupid.
The Sentry Stones are like one of the most broken things they've printed in a long
unit.
time.
So Sentry Stone is 5 points. It is an armor 18 model with 10 hit points.
10 boxes.
8.
And it teleports... Oh, it only has 8?
Oh, I thought it had 10.
God.
8.
So it is 8. It gets to teleport 8 inches every turn for free. And then it generates D3 Fury. And then it can spend a Fury to create a 3-inch forest on itself, and it has Prowl. And then it can spend a Fury to regenerate
It only teleports
mannequins.
5.
Oh, it's only 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
But still,
But you could stone teleport it and then shift it 5, right?
I think it can be...
It's during activation. All the stuff, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but a lot of circle stuff has the can't be teleported rule.
But if it can't be placed...
Can't be placed except as a result of
Okay.
strange code.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think you'd definitely see that.
Good. Okay, so at least they covered that. The problem is that's 6 inches of his forest wall, is that. Also, the other 6 inches of his force wall is Cassius.
Yeah.
So if you can dig out Cassius and then take out 2 proud stones, his force wall is down to 4 inches,
Yeah,
which is not the same thing at all.
It's way better. The boostable aiming guns of the mannequins.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You can spend the Fury on the Sentry Stone to boost the mannequin sprays.
Yeah.
Or just attacks.
So
But they're Rat 4.
But when they spawn them,
you-
they don't forfeit anything.
So you
they can
place
just
them.
aim to Rat 6 and spray you.
So the Rat 6 boostable sprays, which is actually really, really good.
It's really good. Especially against shield wall troops.
Yeah, so
When you
actually...
spawn them behind the shield
Yeah, no,
wall
he
troops.
really... That adds to his infantry shredding.
Also, don't forget, rear strikes are a lot easier to get now. Like, you can spawn him, then he can walk, and then spray you from behind.
Yep. Or you can just spawn him behind so he can aim
Yeah.
and get to Rat 8.
Yeah.
Boostable. It also generates... If it has less than 3 Fury on the model, it generates D3 Fury,
Yeah.
which is a huge change from last edition.
It used to get 1 a turn.
1 a turn unless it ripped Fury from other models, which you could only do against enemies.
Didn't have to spend a Fury to do that.
I don't think it did. Maybe it did.
Thought it did.
Maybe you're right. I think actually you're right. It might have done that.
Okay, so
So killing those things is incredibly important. Like if they don't die on turn 2, I don't think it's possible to win the game.
Depends on the list.
Depends on the list, sure, but if they
It's
don't,
not really hard to just send like a hard-hitting model at them and kill them and just consider that model dead. Because even though those things are only 5 points, killing them is like 20 points of the game, at least.
Yep.
Like, they're way more valuable than their point cost. Those things need to be changed or their point cost needs to go way up. Like, those things are crazy.
Yeah, I almost think they get too much Fury now. So they either some of their abilities need to cost Fury, some more abilities need to cost Fury, like maybe teleporting still needs to cost Fury.
Yeah, I think teleporting costing Fury might be
I don't.
a lot of the change.
I think if mannequins couldn't activate the turn they came in, then no one would play them
I
anymore.
feel like this is most people give a fuck about this a lot.
No, yeah, a lot.
This
most
is just
people.
like does Legion care? I don't know.
Yeah,
enough
they
about
don't see
Legion
through
anymore.
Force anymore.
Yeah, Legion doesn't see through Force.
Isleside doesn't get through Force.
Holy fuck!
No, so Isleside doesn't get through Force, and Hunter doesn't get through Force.
He's actually
anymore. And now it's way easier to create a Force wall than it ever was.
he's really good in a Legion, except for like Lilith 3. I think Lilith 3 plays a pretty good game against him.
Yeah.
Not a
Lilith 3 can go out and grab Cassius, too.
yeah.
lot
It's
of times.
because that it's almost impossible for her not to kill at least one stone on turn 1. Mm-hmm. And if like
She does the Kara Sloane thing, where she's going to shoot into your AD line,
But-
top of 1.
Isn't the reason Madrak's so much better than him for him is because he actually has bad matchups?
I think Wormwood struggles against high armor spam.
I agree.
I think he struggles against
so I think Bart would be good
casters
against.
with awareness.
No, we haven't
Awareness,
gotten to that point
actually-
yet, but we were just talking about...
No, let's go back to awareness. I was just looking at that because we were talking about that.
No,
Well,
there
so-
are things that we haven't...
So we haven't gotten to
We're
the
still
third.
talking about like the people
Who doesn't
Okay.
give a fuck? So let's.
If we want to move that, that's fine.
I honestly think most people care about this.
Everybody cares except for the people you're going to talk about who don't.
Okay.
There
Right.
you go. So, who doesn't give a fuck?
We already talked about awareness. So Sevi 2 has awareness, which lets him see
72
through Force.
Virus 1.
Bird's eye.
Yeah, viruses have bird's eye.
Being able to
Rusk
see
2
through forest.
is
Iros
just-
2's feet. Okay, so we're kind of... Okay, so awareness lets you see through Force. Bird's Eye on both viruses let you see through Force. Iros 2's feet let you see through Forest. Does
And
anything...
Una.
Obviously, the Tree Walker ability.
Yeah.
Does anything else let you see through a forest?
Off the top of my head, I can't.
Top of my head, I can't. No.
So moving beyond that, anyone who has a high movement
does-
and Pathfinder.
Does Phantom Kalis's Phantom Hunter?
Phantom Hunter does.
Yeah, you ignore line of sight.
Yeah. Does it still? It used to.
I believe Forest is...
It's the same except for it's not an upkeep anymore. She can cast it 3 times.
So
a turn.
Kalisa.
Kalissa has some game then. Also, anyone who just has like a super high rate of movement with Pathfinder tagged onto it.
So you can walk through the feet.
Yeah, so like one thing you do is like...
Amon!
Amon,
Amon.
yeah.
Yeah!
But like Lilith 3 can... she has Escort, and then a lot of her beasts have Pathfinder.
It's amazing. He's
Yep.
loved.
Amon
So,
casts
like-
mobility and they walk 6...
Do they need
That's
to walk?
not-
They can run.
Why? What? You're an idiot.
I mean, you could trample. You could trample 9 and then buy attacks.
Fuck.
Yeah.
With synergy that actually...
The way
good.
Amon beats it is just by having lots of dudes that can't be spelled.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, is like he only has 3 heavies and then maybe a unit of Reeves. That's only like, what, 60 points? So he's only got about 60 points of models that are going to do
Because he's-
work against heavies. Because the Sentry Stones aren't going to do work against heavies.
The Sentry Stones, the Mannequins, the Shifting Stones, all of that is just support for his list.
Yeah.
It's not... I mean, the Sentries are going to try and make attacks with the Mannequins, but realistically, they're there for the forests. So he's got... All of the Shamblers are just there to make forests and possibly get some dudes later. The Sentry Stones,
I mean, the
Shifting Stones.
Boker is a threat.
The Boker, I mean, you have to be careful, but yeah, I mean, it's just like the Sentry Stones. If you keep it under control, it's not super scary.
Yeah.
Especially if you're playing the things that naturally beat it. So realistically, he's got probably 1 unit and 3 heavies to try and win the game. If you can just push something into him that what he has can't kill, and then you kill him back, you're fine. Like, it's always the problem that Circle has. Once they send in their heavies, if their heavies die, they lose.
High armor jack bricks are probably... Stranglehold the thing.
It's like if we're going back to Mercs, like you're trying to beat the top 3, right? You just take Bart with like 6 Nomads. You push 6 Nomads with Batten into him and say, do your worst.
I mean,
he kills
six Nomads and Galleon, probably.
Yeah, and a Galleon. You're like, here you go. And he's like, okay, well, I'll Hellmouth something. You're like, no, I have Orin. And he's like, oh yeah, I lose.
Or you're like... So, like...
And then three Primal Ferals come in and go, we killed 2 heavies?
Revelator. 72 Revelator. I just want that.
I don't know if a Revelator is high armor. He has volume of attacks. He can put 21
Yeah,
like
he can
power-
I can
kill a
see
Colossal.
everything and move it through everything.
Yeah, but he can...
Sure. It's still speed 4.
Yeah, I don't think a
And dies to
Colossal is
2.
what 72 wants. I think
No,
you want, like,
you don't
4
want a
Templars.
Revelator.
4 Templars and then some heavies.
Yeah, 4 Templars, 2 Vigilance, and something else.
Actually, 3 Templars, 3 Inditers, so Stranglehold can get straight fucked.
Well, I mean, you're clearly going to shielding every turn. Like, what's he going to do? Grieves you, or
That's
reaves you
true.
to death?
Hey, it happens.
No, it doesn't happen to good players.
Awareness that ignores stealth and everything is fucking magical.
Yeah, 72 would be a good matchup into him.
72 would be if you don't take a Revelator.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
that one.
You don't want to have high-value targets. You want to just spam things that are hard to kill.
So Templars and Inditers.
Templars and Inditers. Or just Inditers. 6 Inditers, go.
Tilgard's pretty good.
Chillguard is good.
It ain't bad.
I don't know. Like, literally, he would... on first turn, he probably just looks at the board and goes, how did that get into this matchup? Like if he's playing Wormwood into that matchup, something went drastically wrong in list selection.
So that's kind of the other thing to talk about, I guess. And that's why I think Madrak 2 does have the edge over Wormwood. Madrak 2 is a much better faction around him.
Yes.
I don't...
Shit. I honestly...
Yeah, you got 40 points of support in the freaking...
No. When you're at list selection.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I think Madrak 2 is better second lists.
No, because if you're like, I shut down Madrak, and you're like, okay, my list kills you. And you're
Yeah,
like,
now
oh,
I play Grim 2 and just shoot you to death.
Yeah.
GG?
You mean Gunbjorn.
Or Gunbjorn.
Or
yeah.
Gunbjorn.
I don't know. There's a possibility that Tanith is pretty good against Madrak. That's stupid.
She has Affliction.
She has Affliction. She has that stupid Animus on the Argus.
Damn, this is
That could
fun.
be a problem for him moving places.
It's a pretty limited threat range.
It is.
Wait, which Animus on which Argus are you talking about?
The Death File
Doppler,
one.
Doppler bark.
Paralyzed.
It basically is paralyzed
Got it.
without having to roll or hit or do anything like that.
I mean, why would you want to roll the hit?
This is so stupid.
It's really strong.
Like, I don't know how that got into the game.
Okay, other
talking about?
things who don't give a fuck about Wormwood.
So either you need to survive everything he can do to you,
Or
is-
you need to get around its defensive traits.
or you need to somehow get around Forest
And-
Wall,
and
which
hit
I
it
don't
first.
understand how you do without like
Because the
awareness.
list is not durable.
No, it's not. The list falls apart if you get a hold of it.
Yeah.
Which is why you just need to survive the alpha. If you get to the point where he's forced to commit, which is kind of like what Ragnar does. I've seen Ragnar beat him several times.
Yeah.
If Ragnar just goes, I'm going to move to the point where you're going to lose the game if you don't commit, and feat, and say go.
So his primary win condition is scenario. He's just going to feat to keep you out of the zone and then kill the models that came in that just ran into
Yeah.
the zone.
It's just like Carrot. You move at him as fast as you can to reduce the number of turns before he wins the game.
Yeah.
Or increase the number of turns before he wins the game.
Yep.
Give yourself more time to play the game by increasing the time in which you're allowed to play.
Any specific standouts? Because we've mentioned one faction.
For what?
Menoth. Things that you would like to play against.
Menoth, I think, is naturally good into Wormwood because they have the heavies. Their heavies can kill Warples really easily, and they're hard to kill.
What would Kador do?
Kador would probably be okay into it.
Rusk 2.
Well, the problem is you're just going to play Rusk 2 because he's the natural counter in the faction, just like Sevi 2 is the natural counter in the faction. So those two particularly are going to try and prey on Wormwood, which, as two of the strongest factions, might just be enough to force them out of every list.
I don't think so.
You're not going to...
Because it's not a windmill slam. It's still a game. Like, Wormwood still has a lot of games against those two casters.
If you build specifically for it, I think it's like a 70-30.
I don't.
You don't think like Sevi 2 built to beat Wormwood is a 70-30?
I haven't seen it.
Basically the 6 Indictor list. Like,
Well,
how does he beat that?
That's not in the meta yet.
It's not yet, but Templars aren't that much different when you just shielding every turn. I don't know how he beats that. Like, he straight can't kill it.
His feet... So, the Templars don't threat very far. So he can actually come in and charge, kill like two Templars, and then feet. And how, like, even if there's some within walking range, you can Hellmouth behind them to pull them away.
That's getting real far. Because he sees to the force, he just kills whatever's going to get to him. Like, he kills the Sentry Stones.
They don't have Pathfinder, though, right?
They don't have Pathfinder, but they see through the forest. So I guess he does. If he's bringing that list, he's not bringing guns.
Also, your choir, you say shielding, but the mannequins are running straight for your choir. Which is why I think the Inditers are probably better.
I don't know. I'd like to see the game.
The list I took
would too.
had 2 Redeemers on him that I could just plop down onto stones all game long.
Right, and
Redeemers are particularly good at killing Sentry Stones
Things, yeah.
if they ignore stealth.
Well, if
you can take Rovan.
You can. You're right.
I don't think Rovan lets me ignore stealth anymore. Let me double check.
He does. I don't believe
He
Minos
does.
Sight changed.
He does.
He gave me
promise.
Eyeless Sight last time I checked.
Definitely still has Minos Sight.
Eyeless Sight is what I thought.
Eyeless Eye ignores stealth.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. Sorry, I thought you said change that. Yeah.
It's forest that
It doesn't ignore force, yeah.
What you have awareness.
The Virus is... I think he could probably still win the game with Virus. Because they don't have the
Maybe.
spell hate to stop just shutting down with Stranglehold. They're not very fast. The feat's
It'd be interesting to see a Virus 2 synergy game.
I think Virus 2 would be the one, because I think his feat is also interesting. Because you can play keep away with your jacks pretty well.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the 3, I think.
So are there any other casters we think should be on the list? Or
I don't think any deserve to be on the list yet, unless something emerges that we haven't really seen yet.
I don't think...
Siege! I was actually...
Siege is good.
I was curious about something earlier, but I
Mage
don't, it
Sight.
doesn't fit in 3 casters, though.
Siege is a solid B+.
And it's something that I've heard a lot talk about, but I've only seen one of. And that's, like I said earlier, the Kador with, like, 87 Juggernauts.
It's nowhere near that.
843 Juggernauts on a Kador list. Doesn't matter what... just caster, 859 Juggernauts, and then at least 15
That would beat a lot of lists.
That would be...
That would be
a lot.
borderline unbeatable.
at least 157 rockets.
Except that, like, deploying, you actually lose on deployment because you can't finish deploying your list, so you lose on death clock.
Seems fine.
Because there probably isn't room in your deployment zone.
There's
for
definitely
anything.
not. You probably get probably 125.
You start stacking models.
That's illegal.
They're allowed to do it.
Ambush, right?
Juggernauts have strength 12. They can carry Juggernauts. So,
They can throw Juggernaut.
well, I've seen that plenty of times now. And then the other thing was, a lot of people are talking about Hellmouths and how Hellmouths are just unreasonably strong.
They're very good.
So we could have you could have a holy trinity, I think, of units. Also, I think there are 3 units that are over the top broken.
Well, let's touch on that
I
instead of
think
dig
I know
into
which
it.
3 you're thinking of.
I do. I think
I want to hear it.
The
that
number
way.
1 has to be
Sentry Stones. No, Sentry Stone is the most broken.
The thing is,
the only reason is because they're cheaper than Hellmouths.
God damn
I
it.
think they're better. Than
I think they are
Hellmouths.
better. They do more.
Yeah.
Hellmouths are number 2, and Rifle Corps are number 3.
Rifle Corps are unreasonably strong.
Rifle Corps are unreasonably strong.
They're
I'm not saying they
unreasonably
shouldn't be in the 3. I think they're number 2.
You think they're better than Hellmouths?
I mean, I think they can
What
remove
buffs
Hellmouths.
a Hellmouth?
You can give it Occultation. If you have a Blightbringer in the list, you can give it several to hit buffs, which they need. Because Mat 6 is kind of dicey to pull in a Death 12
it's
heavy.
meh.
I actually think Veil 1 might come back when the
Because
Hellmouths
of
come out.
Hellmouths.
Because Chiller on them is real good.
I think with buffs, Rifle Corps are harder to deal with sometimes.
I really hate Rifle Corps right now. I'm telling you, I have played against so much Kador with so many Juggernauts and so many rockets.
You might be right though. Hellmouths might be number 2.
I think it's... I don't like to order within the tiers,
That's fine.
because it gets real nitpicky. I think they're both.
That's fair. I mean, it really depends on the situation.
All three
are
too strong.
I don't
and
understand
need
how
a change.
Rifle Corps got out as they were, and I like Rifle Corps, but I don't play Rifle Corps in lists that don't buff them.
And the thing is, like,
How about this? Unbuffed, I think Hellmouth is better.
that's fair. That's fair.
I don't think there's an argument that Hellmouth is better unbuffed. Because at
but the thing- I think-
quarter the cost, they're pretty fucking good.
I feel like Khador was probably the first. Khador and Menoth were probably like the first two factions they finished because they feel the most well-rounded and balanced, powerful, but nothing really stands out.
Mainly, they don't have a huge deficiency, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, Khador still isn't, like, control.
But like Rifle Corps, like Irusk 2 is probably just on the edge of these three. Sebi 2 is
I
probably
think
on the
Irusk
edge
2
of
is
these
really
three.
strong, but the problem it comes down to, like, kind of like Kara. He's really strong and covers a large range of the meta, but he can't do everything at once. Like, he's not on that third tier with Kara because I think he has more problems. Because he dies faster than Kara does. Look at where he has to be and look at how much his spells cost.
Yeah, if he wasn't always in cover, I might.
I just really honestly
There's a
don't
lot
wish
of
that was
ways
a
you
thing.
can get around that.
There's some ways you get around that.
Anything that can particularly...
If he wasn't always in cover and immune to knockdown, the both of those are pretty good.
Who's
He's
that?
still really
The rest
vulnerable
too.
to some lists. Like, I don't know. He is very good. I'm not arguing that. I definitely think he's an A+ caster. I
I think Sebi 2's there too.
think 72 is an A+ as well.
I think they're both hovering right on the outside of this
Right.
top three.
The
like
problem is they don't have a, oh my god, that's fucking ridiculous aspect to them. Like, it's all like, man, that's really good. But it's not like...
I can't believe they gave the
Can
motherfucker
half the
solid
game
ground.
not deal with that? Like,
That's true.
straight not deal with it?
true.
Like that's why he's not on the
you
list.
get to play games against both of them.
He's advantaged in a massive amount of matchups.
I cannot believe they gave him solid ground.
I read that someone told me that. I was like, yeah, I was 2 got solid ground. I'm like, no, we didn't. Like I was like, okay, so he lost everything else, I guess. And I started reading. I'm like, no, he literally just gained solid ground. Like, he traded tactical supremacy for solid ground. And I was like, legit. Like,
Good trade.
Like, I mean, is
best
anybody
trade ever?
is anybody in the
Someone
game
got
just looking
trade
at this like
rates.
a better commander than this motherfucker? This is obscene.
Irus 2 had such undying loyalty that they got rid of command checks.
He's the reason.
In the game.
No, Irus 2.
Across
period.
factions.
He's like, hey guys, quit running away. And then they're like, hey guys, he said don't run away. And they're like, did you just not run away?
Then everyone is just like,
Yeah.
no, Irus 2 said we can't run away
And
anymore.
every other faction's all like, well, that motherfucker
Did
said
you
don't
see
run.
the,
Did
look
he just
at
mean
his face?
Did you
it's
see-
in his face.
Did you see his flag?
Did they just mean him? Just
He's just
his
there like
guys?
majestic
We better
as
not
fuck
either.
with a flag in the ground. He's
Yeah.
like, none shall run. And he's like, well, I guess we're not running
I guess
away.
running away is done. Everyone is done running
Well, he
away.
said no one runs away, and the other factions are honestly a little confused, and he commanded them, I guess, is what it was. He said no one. Does that mean us too? I guess we
Clearly
can't
it
run away.
does.
I guess no.
Clearly, it
That
does.
motherfucker.
Unless
I
your
just-
Dominator dies.
Is there any background on what
That's fucking great.
denomination Irusk is for religion, or is it ever said anywhere?
I haven't heard.
I'm just curious.
Anywhere.
I honestly want to say I do believe I heard that he's an old school, like a true faith Menite.
There's a lot of
'Cause-
Menites in Khador.
Yeah,
No,
not a
I know
Sul
there
Menite.
are because I have a feeling Menoth would be here, and then Mother Khador would be like just above it.
Yeah.
Like in Irust's heart, like there is no question.
Well,
like,
that's-
like
the
it's like
the
number
Empress-
2 is the creator of man.
You need
Number
to,
one is the Empress.
yeah,
There's-
Definitely the Empress.
There's a difference here between different things, though. It's like you really have to get like, okay, Sul Menites are the batshit crazy Menites that are in the Protector of Menoth.
like
okay?
we'll just burn.
There
your
are
shit.
Menites everywhere in the world, and we all get along. We're all fine.
They're not
and then
crazy.
you have like the ones that are all like, let's move to the place where we don't own property and can't do things. I'm probably going to get burned alive for no reason. Like that's a group.
Is there any more?
They don't have money. The Protectorate doesn't have money. They don't have. Their citizens' coins are made of clay.
Yeah, no.
It's like, here's some clay chips. Here you go. Just have this.
How did this become a fluff podcast?
I was just curious.
I am a fluffer.
Because I had a feeling that Irusk would be a Menite, but definitely his loyalty is to Khador.
Oh yeah.
It's like Vlad's loyalty is like to Khador in parentheses, but it's really to his particular lands within Khador.
Right.
Umbri. Vlad's a badass. Which, side note, he just married the Empress.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. That's what happened in.
Flashpoint.
I need to read that.
Not a spoiler because it's like in the first 2 pages.
So I think that's it.
Yep.
Oh.
Sign out.
Kador solos.
No,
Shut up.
we're not.
No.
We're not doing that.
No. I'm getting
What's
off
in the
this.
casters
I'm
today?
getting off this train.
I'm
I
hitting
think all
the
we need to
stop
do is
button.
Oh, wait. We have to sign out.
What are you doing?
At 10. I'm hitting stop. Go.
This has been Brandon.
Karl.
Spence.
Jeremy.
HB guys.
The Craig aura.
Gray still has an aura.
Yeah, not the aura that it had.
1519 is still pretty good.
I mean, it's okay, but you know it'd be better?
Shield guard.
1523. Think about it.
Seems good.
1523. Is it better than 1519? Assuming that you don't want to
Yeah.
take as much damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I think we agreed. It's better.
You know what else is good? Not having purification on 13 casters.
Agreed. What if Purification didn't do what it did? What if it did other things like does 1 damage to every model in your control area?
It seems better than purification.
Bastions, are they played now?
No. Because they die before they get there.
I'm sorry, if Harbinger could do 1 damage to everything in the control area, it'd be a different game.
Okay, so, yeah, we'll talk about this first, and then we'll go into faction.
I feel like this can be fairly quick. Because I'm pretty much just
No, I
going,
think it's going to be half the podcast.
I'm going to sit down and literally just ask you and Karl to explain these things to me, and you two can discuss it.
We've already talked about it.
So,
But the whole
this is
community
them as a... I think it's important to talk about them as a group. Because I think it creates an interesting issue.
You know what?
Because we'll talk about it later. And
That was
it,
after the last podcast.
so I understand. Jeremy, this is topical. This is
I will say, Jeremy, in its defense, on the current forums, which I'm on every single
We
day
also
for-
talked about Warmachine last week. Are you saying we shouldn't talk about Warmachine?
Yes.
Well, I'm saying on the current forums,
Damn it.
what everybody's talking
We should
about.
talk about war games.
Guild Ball.
Guild Ball's bad.
So,
How many games of Guild Ball have you played this week?
Last week? None.
It's not played. That's why I don't play it.
It is played.
It's not played.
Yes, it is.
0 games happened in Kansas City last week.
That is incorrect.
I don't believe.
It's really incorrect.
I don't believe. Who played? I want to know.
I don't know their names.
Exactly. Not
I think
played.
I know the name of everybody.
At least 2 people.
you know me, I count. So, I do. You know my name. You will know my name.
I still wonder who the Spence guy.
The electronic flavor. So, Hellmouth, we didn't mention Hellmouth at all. It's the 4 things that I see people, 5 things that I see people talking about. 'Cause they talk about those 3, Kador with a ton of fucking juggernauts, and Hellmouth. Those are the 5 things that I think everybody currently...
Don't worry. They won't be talking about 6 Juggernauts when my 15 Mad Dogs come in. Those are bought and paid for. It's paid in full. Spence, I'm going to have 15 Mad Dogs.
I like this. Please tell me you're going to pose them each individually.
Well, obviously. They're all going to be 1/1,000,000th of a degree different arm angles. What if they were all doing the electric boogaloo?
How about just different portions of it? The electric slide.
It'll be like when you flip pages in a book and there's a drawing. It'll be like that, but with Mad Dogs. Just in a line. They'll just slowly, one of them raises their arm all the way up.
I love it.
There's stuff in it.
All for
Yeah. I haven't opened that box since we got back from Denver. Thunder. Come here, Thunder. Come here, Puppet.
Oh, I need rings too.
Just buy the plastic ones.
I'll find
They're actually pretty good. They lay flat, and they don't get bumped as easily.
They don't take a large, and they actually show the deviation if you really want to use it for that.
Well, I don't like rings because they...
There's no center.
There's no center, there's no directions, but also they're ambiguous as to where the edge is.
Maxes.
Because if you actually look at the ring, it's kind of like when you look at base. Half the reason people do banana charges is because they look at the base and they only see like the boldest part of it, and they don't actually count the thing that goes all the way, like, because it slopes down. There's like, as soon as it starts sloping, like their brain just quits acknowledging it.
I don't like rings unless you're paying attention to inside diameter and outside diameter. I feel
Most
like-
rings are OD.
I think that's going to be a big thing you need.
Although
Whereas if
Ryan,
you buy the Crawford
Cheat
ring,
rings?
Crawford cheat ring,
I love that Karl now understands the Crawford cheat stick. I explained it to him. It's great.
I think we should market it.
I need to finish that T-shirt.
T-shirt. With
I
Crawford
have like
sticker.
a technical drawing.
It's like a architect like drawing in the sky all the different measurements and just random numbers, decimals and fractional decimals.
And then made to order.
Yeah.
Available at Walmart. Here's a send me the name of what they said.
No,
You can
I
tell
just
me-
replaced that.
Oh, you already did?
Yeah, it runs now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
No,
you-
we were doing like cosmetic and quality of life changes when you
Okay.
came in. The car, yeah. Anyone who watched our montage knows that my car broke. That's
Did you
what
watch it, Spence?
you
I
see
wa-
in the
I
video is
understand.
what I'm currently working on.
Did
Where
you
like
watch
the
all
dash
of
is
your
torn apart.
parts?
I just kind of skimmed through it a little bit.
Spencer was really good. What?
I cut it
We're
down.
not on this yet.
I know, but keep it behind you.
I cut down like 7 hours into 10 minutes.
And I'll watch it. I just never have time.
I got some pretty good shots with my hand cam.
I mean, I'm almost through my second run of Gossip Girl right now, which was funny because my girlfriend was watching Gossip Girl when I came home the other day, and she's like, I know you don't want to watch this, I'll change it. And I'm like, you know me well enough
You're
to
on
date.
episode 19 from season 3, and she's like,
And she's all like, I know you
She's
wanna-
like hitting the panic button.
Well, I literally stopped. I'm like, you realize you're dating me. You know me well enough to live with me. You talk about sharing a life with me, and you don't understand that I know Dan is Gossip Girl. And she's like, no, he's not. And like, she just has a, like, yeah. Last episode, you find out Dan's Gossip Girl, and he's been faking it the whole time just so he can get Serena. And she's like, fuck you. And she pulls out her phone, starts looking it up. And I'm like, now it's better because as you watch the show, you'll realize it doesn't make any sense because all the horrible shit that Gossip Girl puts them through doesn't make any sense because it's him. It's this high school drama where there's this online site that like shares news about all the gossip in high school, and it's called Gossip Girl. So it'll like send out messages to everybody who subscribes to the site telling you like, oh, so-and-so is kissing so-and-so, or so-and-so is dating so-and-so, or did you hear this about so-and-so? So the whole time you have Dan, the young kid from the other end of the track, try to date like the high-class, best bitch in school.
Is
He's
it
trying-
better than Smallville?
Yeah, actually, that's kind of hard to not be. Smallville's real.
Okay, no. I understand everything you just said.
Now, the problem is...
No, that's not why. That's not the part I don't get. Why?
Why?
Why did they make the show?
No, it's...
Why did you watch it?
Well, Blake,
And
why-
why are you telling us about it?
No, the best part is not understanding, like, it doesn't make any sense as you're getting through, like, season 1 and 2 and how he keeps fucking himself over. It's like he finally gets her. They're dating. They're fucking. They're about to move in together. Then Gossip Girl released this thing that splits them up because this bad shit's going on. It's like, okay, so you made the mistake of cheating on her. You decided to go ahead and go and tell everybody about it, which ruins your relationship and puts you into a shame spiral where you get on drugs. It's like, last episode, you all flipped the fucking coin. That's what this was. In Smallville.
Smallville was really, really bad.
Yeah.
I watched all 210 episodents. Of
I
that
own
show.
all of them.
That's.
You poor
Wow.
bastards.
I at least watched it for free.
I bought it as it came out in seasons and watched it that way. I didn't watch it on network TV.
I do have a bad problem about quitting a show. Like if I'm more than 8 episodes in,
Well, 'cause-
it's literally like cutting off an arm to
To
stop.
be fair with
it doesn't matter how
Smallville,
bad it is.
it's like always hinted like next episode
It gets good.
he's gonna do something and
No,
become
no.
Superman.
No, they said at the beginning of the show he will never be Superman in the show. He'll never wear the costume and he'll never fly in the show.
The worst part about that show, hands down, bar none, is
Zod.
no. About midway at season
6.
3 or 4, maybe into 6,
Goddamn.
like when these kids from Kansas who really have no business doing anything are dealing with epic world-changing political events, and there's like life-altering assassinations going on and catastrophic world decisions. It's like, I get you all have a show, but like that's just scale doesn't make sense. It's like the Wonder Years at no point ever had 9/11 as something they had to deal with. Like that's not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
They
bullshit.
just had the Vietnam War.
I mean, you had to deal with people who were dealing with the Vietnam War. They
Okay.
themselves didn't have to talk to the Viet Cong.
Since we're on the topic of DC, why is the guy from the Flash TV show not the Flash in the movie?
Do you want actual reasoning?
Yes.
Okay, because who owns whatever rights to whatever bullshit?
You think that's it? You think
I'm pretty
DC
confident
doesn't
that's
own the rights?
DC probably doesn't own their own movie rights. They probably sold those to Warner Brothers for bullshit.
Well, Warner Brothers owns the CW, don't they?
I don't know. I don't know what company. I'm just saying that's...
Most likely the
Yeah. Now, I haven't watched the
Why
Flash
don't
show
they
yet.
just the Flash is actually pretty decent.
It's hard for me to watch those shows.
Like Arrow gets really bad because it's just the same fucking thing. Yeah, it's like, hey, guess what's gonna happen this week? Everyone's gonna hate me. I'm gonna struggle.
I spent all that time on that island. Dude, I don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So when does his assistant start using heroin?
I just want to know whenever his sister Thea just
No, that
gets
happens
naked.
in the comic. That happened during the comic book code.
Yeah, Roy became a heroin addict and just completely fucked his life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In the show?
Yeah, and then keep in mind, his next assistant, Speed, which was a chick, she wound up getting AIDS and dying. Yeah, he has the worst luck with sidekicks. Oh, and Green Arrow is also not this, like, cool playboy who's actually Bruce Wayne. That's not how he plays. Like, that's not his character at all. Oliver Queen is fucking awesome, but he actually is out there, like, Green Party member, standing up with fucking PETA people, acting like a shell time, but being a badass doing it, as opposed to, like, I'm Bruce Wayne. Mysterious. I'll talk about it. Like, he's playing Bruce Wayne as a character.
I still like it in the comic. He loses his arm, yet he's still a badass with a bow.
He loses his arm and then kills Superman.
Hi, Karl.
Karl may or may not be here.
Hello. Am I late?
Never. In the words of the rap community,
Just an hour,
the party
1 minute.
don't start till you walk in.
That's right.
I saved you chicken.
Thank you.
There's also Little Debbie's.
The best Little Debbie's zebra cake.
Zebra cakes and Nutty Bars.
I was listening to Crippled Systems today. They were talking about nutty bars.
We have nutty bars.
I see that. And zebra cakes.
Zebra cakes.
Are we at least concerned as to whether or not...
Why do I have an infinity?
Recording.
I brought you an Infinity.
Recording.
He works at Infinity.
Oh, okay.
Are they?
I'm just saying I'm recording.
I don't work at Infinity.
That's right. Spence does not
Yeah.
work at Infinity. He broke.
You really should.
He went and did a test
Well,
drive at Infinity.
There goes this podcast.
We've already gotten 3 people fired. All at this point.
Yeah, shit, the last things I did didn't get me fired, nothing will.
Didn't you walk in on a customer and say, "You're all fucked up. You talk like a fat
Yeah,
your shit's all
I
retarded"?
did.
And your boss was like, "Really? Really?"
My boss was in there talking to him, and I thought it was somebody else. So I walk in, I say that shit to my boss, giving him crap, and he looks at me, he's like,
like, really?
he looks at me like, and I look at him like, oh, that's a customer. Shit, I thought that was somebody we work with.
I might get fired over this.
You know what it takes for me to get fired at my job?
You have to literally
I don't know.
get caught stealing or murder someone on campus.
Either that or give out.
My favorite thing to do is drink at work. I'm
Or
just
do
saying.
that. Okay, so we have topics.
I saw that.
First off, let's pre-ramble, alright? Go.
Stop it.
They don't.
Wait, stop it who?
Disprove me. Aside from myself.
Spence.
Yes.
Saying stop at the Spence.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Spence.
I don't know how that feels.
Spence does not work at Infinity. Stop it.
I do not work at Infinity.
At least, what branch you work at? The St. Louis branch?
St. Louis Infinity, yep.
Yep.
Can you give me an infinity?
I can, yeah.
Get me one Infinity.
Hey, I got one right. There's keys right here.
You're really struggling there.
I don't know how bags work.
Usually, stuff stays in them unless you drop it on the floor.
Sweet. I just got a new car, guys.
It's
Nice.
not. It's newish.
Well, it's new to me.
It's a 13.
Hey, Karl, you see, we got our Muse order in today.
Shut up.
$800 of it.
Brandon, would you please plug Muse?
By the way, Muse is awesome. You should buy
Man, I
Muse.
love the 5 sets of Muse tokens I've bought so far.
No, you need to be more specific. The Muse sets that they made for the Menoth faction. Because that's all 5 of the sets you bought.
Yeah.
He has problems.
I'm about to buy them again.
He's about to buy a 6th set of Menoth tokens from Muse.
I bought 1 set of Legion tokens from Muse.
They don't match.
What? What do you mean?
They redesigned their set to be a little bit smaller.
No, I bought the wooden tokens, like their first generation ones.
Which are beautiful and I love. And I'm going to buy those again too.
I own the Legion wooden tokens.
I'm going to get the wooden ones again though because I like that you can actually paint it for everything and all the types of tokens match up together. Like all the spells are the same shape, everything's the same shape.
I like the Frozen Forge ones.
I'm just disappointed I haven't.
I don't think I know what Frozen Forge
shields
looks like.
and
The purple
focus.
ones I have.
Oh, I do like those.
Yeah.
I do like those. They're very uniform.
They
Yeah.
are. And
So
they're easy to read. The one thing I didn't like about the Muse tokens is if you didn't paint them, they could be kind of hard to read.
The solid wood ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
also, any person that you play with at a competitive level knows that when there's a token next to Ion and Holt, it's probably stealth.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just saying that you don't usually need to read the token. I mean, to be fair, it helps when you can read it. And the new color tokens are way easier.
Yeah,
to
but
read.
like,
there's
so does that angel have refuge or admonition on it, or occultation?
I do get really annoyed
But
whenever
the
I'm
new
reading.
wood ones you can get in the different colors.
yeah, you can get colored wood, and when they engrave it, the color goes away. So it's like it's not
Holy
dyed.
shit! Really?
Yeah. So like the top will be black, and the engraving will be like a wood grain.
I mean, Lord knows I already painted my token, so if I want to get the
You'll
my
have to
God, my
buy
God.
wooden-
Do you see what
Yeah.
happens?
I'm sorry.
No, I
what's
don't see
happening?
why this happens to you because
We gave Spence a
choice.
choice. And Spence doesn't want choices.
I'm not good at them.
He just buys them all.
He wants freedom from choice.
Yeah.
And actually, those new ones that are coming out that you mentioned on the group me,
the broken egg
I'm
ones.
gonna get those too.
I am gonna get the broken egg ones.
I'm gonna get all of them. I'm gonna get all of them. Every single token. I'm gonna have all the
Are you
tokens.
gonna get the
So,
new
like,
Predator
at each
Press one?
round of the tournament, you can play a new set of tokens.
I don't play Pokemon. Do you understand that? I don't play Pokemon because of this reason.
You got to get. You've got.
I got to get all of them.
Yeah, I got it.
Another reason I don't
Not
like
like
STDs.
one of each, all. If you have Pokemon, he has failed.
This is
And you're gonna die. He's gonna have your Pokemon.
This is my Grey Ops 2 addiction. Actually, that's the best Pokemon Go thing I think I've ever heard anybody suggest. Like, let's just go to places where kids are playing Pokemon, take their phone and throw it like against a car or something. Let it just shatter like Team Rocket blasting off again. Fuck you.
Blast off, motherfucker.
Shit's gone, bitch. You want a Poke battle and start beating the fuck out of someone?
Just like sucker punch them.
Did you see the social experiment the guy did? He went to like random parks and stuff where people were playing Pokemon Go instead of lures. And when people showed up for the lures, like kids, he'd be like, "Hey guys, what's going on? Are you like playing Pokemon? Yeah, you guys are awesome." And he's like playing on his phone, and then he gets a phone call from his buddy. He's like, "You found a Charizard? Holy shit, you found a Charizard?" He's like, "Gosh, you want to get Charizard? It's like 100 yards up the park." And they're like, "Yeah, we want a Charizard." So he's like, "Well, tell you what, I'll just drive us over there real quick. That way he won't run away." They're like, "Okay," and they follow him to the car, and he turns around and he's like, "This is not okay. Like, you cannot ever do this. Like, do not follow some dude to his car for a Charizard."
I mean, okay, my dad
Or
told
a
us
bike.
all when we were very young.
Like-
Okay? At some point, some stranger's going to offer you candy to go on a ride with them. Think really hard about the decision you're about to make, because candy corn is probably not worth it. But Snickers, you're not getting that shit at home.
Holy
So-
shit, full-size
Get the
Snickers. Where are we
candy
going, Bob?
I mean, like, are we talking like a king-size Reese's? That's 4 fucking
This
pieces
is a
of Reese's.
sweet van. Where are the Reese's?
Yeah. Did you see the Pokemon van?
Yeah. I saw that.
The free candy van that's been mine.
I think that's fucking great.
It's not like Tim's van that we kept throwing candy in.
Carl's my
He
first
had like
problem.
60 pounds of hard candy in that van.
I've gone through probably 17 Kraus 2s.
We're pre-rambling right now. We can't talk about Warmachine yet.
Oh, is that a Warmachine
He's
thing?
talking about modeling.
Yeah.
He's owned 17 Krios 2s.
Questionable. 17, like literally
Yes.
17.
Yes.
You have.
Yeah.
I have 2 at home right
Yeah,
now.
he has a
One
problem.
in my bag, and there's one on the shelf over there.
I assembled one for him because he's like, I want that my perfect Krios 2. So he paid me to model it for him, so it's like cleaned really nicely, and the mace thing he has a metal rod instead
It's
of
better.
a pewter.
I want it to be right.
Okay.
And he doesn't want to paint it because he doesn't want to mess it up.
Yeah. So until
But-
I get better at it.
I told him I would paint it for him, but
Just
I won't paint
Pay
it.
someone else to paint it. Pay
I
someone.
won't paint it in his paint scheme.
Exactly.
No, pay
Because
someone really good to paint it.
No, but his paint scheme is black, dry brush silver with some red spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
under
see the
garbage.
problem here? So he's got to replace his entire army before he gets it painted.
And you might as
How-
well like
how
not
much did you
strip it.
paint
Just
that-
buy the new one. Buy a new army. Just throw those
Yeah.
models in the garbage.
No, exactly. That's the problem.
Do you see the issue I run into now?
Spence, how much did you paint at War Machine Weekend?
I painted like half a whole army in one night, like the night before the tournament.
Yeah, I remember we were. At,
I think that was just
no,
while I was-
we were at Adepticon, and we woke up. I woke up for the team tournament, and you're like painting minis at the fucking.
That's
table.
what I do.
And I was
What
like,
I
"Hey,
do-
what's going on?" And he's like, "Well, I just got to paint like 2 vassals, these 3 heavies, high reclaimer, and like 2 other solos." And
My hair
I'm like,
painted for months.
"Well, we need to leave in like 10 minutes." Like, no, we'll be good. I'm like, no, like, no, the tournament starts. In
Were
50.
they or were they not painted when I was done?
They,
I put paint.
I
in
mean,
both.
technically, no.
They had paint on them.
They had paint on them.
They
which
were paint-
They did not look distinguishable from the rest of his army. I will say that.
Okay, so it's like camouflage.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what I do with my knights. Actually, all my knights are identical.
You're the worst person. and
I run
hate
8
you.
units of identical knights.
You
Like,
know,
I
like how you
actually-
immediately figured out what he was saying and hated him.
Yeah,
for
no,
it.
I literally hate you. You're
It's
the worst
horrible.
person.
It's so
If,
shitty.
if you ever play in a tournament, I am going to immediately get you disqualified.
Oh no, you can tell on the back of them, at
That's
the bottom of the cape.
That's not.
It is
No.
completely fine.
Nope.
Mhm.
We'll see what the judge says.
Absolutely.
I'm the judge.
Well,
Yeah.
he's going to have to make a choice.
That's gonna
My
be
knights look
that's gonna be
amazing.
an interesting day.
I'll tell you, actually, I was really debating on painting the cloth on them different colors for
You
units.
should.
I was, but then they fixed it to where
It
this
doesn't-
unit has battle driven. This unit has battle driven.
It still matters.
It matters a lot less.
it still matters a lot.
It actually matters a lot more, I think.
Yeah, because only want to have one. If I can't kill a whole unit, or I don't want to risk not killing a whole unit, I only want one unit to have battle driven, not 7.
That's really hard to keep from happening if the night player's paying attention. Yeah, because you just interweave all your units.
No, but if he can easily tell which ones are which, he just shoots all the red ones.
Yeah.
Which is why...
That's why what you're doing is illegal.
That's not illegal.
It is. It's in the judge document.
No, but every time he makes an attack, he hits the clock and says which guys are in that unit.
Yeah, that's entirely fine.
Oh, okay.
No, I was looking it up.
Right, so you just win because he's not painting his bases.
Shut up.
I mean, that's fine, too. I'll just death clock you, also.
That's terrible.
Like your
That's how it
German
works.
It's
gray
how it
on
works.
black.
I flip the clock and
lines.
say which unit's which.
Exactly. And I'm fine with
Well,
that.
usually you don't need it. So yeah, the lines
But
on my
before
mechanics
before
are
I
very
actually
dark.
marketed them, I actually looked up
Sorry.
to see whether or not that was a bad idea.
No, it's
because I
your,
didn't do it to get the advantage.
It's in the judge document.
It is
we
in
went
the
through it.
judge document.
I know. I went through it. And I looked.
Actually, what the judge document says is that if you're unable to tell, then it's up to your opponent which models are in which unit. But he's actually able to tell. You just can't. Is the problem?
unless you can see behind the model.
Right, because they're marked on the back of the model, which you can't see from your perspective. So
Is it like the arcs marks?
The arcs are all marked identically on all the models.
I mean, it'd be fine with it if you just turned all your models around and played them backwards for the rest
No,
of
that'd
the
be
entire
convenient
game.
for you, but it doesn't change my models. I mean, I have to be
the
able to
models
easily answer
are
it.
actually distinguished which units they are in.
Yeah, but your opponent, it's more important
But-
for your opponent to see them.
for them.
It is. I mean, no one's
I have-
disagreeing with that, but it's not legal.
I have to be able to answer the question.
No, but you are within your right to switch the clock and say, hey, you need to tell me which models are in this unit before I make my next.
And then if I waste my time going, I don't.
And then he's like, this one, this one, this one, this one. You're like, well, I'm going to shoot that guy. It's in that unit. You flip the clock back, make your attack roll, flip back.
And
who else is in that unit?
I have
every time.
That's probably what I would do.
Yeah.
every time I've played in a game with that bullshit, I've set it down and I make sure to pay attention. So when my opponent asks me immediately, I'm like, this one. Or if he points somebody who hasn't been battle driven yet,
I mean, why not just mark?
Why
them
not
on
just
the front
mark
of the
them?
base?
because I want them to look identical. Aesthetics matter more to me.
He does dry brush them all silver, so they look the same.
Hey, I bought
You see,
8 identical
at least
units
now-
of knights and painted them identically.
At
Are they
least
all
now
logo?
everyone understands our pain when dealing with Spence.
My God. Wait for it. It gets worse. It's exquisite.
Yeah, I would probably also call the judge you sit here during my turn because this might get up.
You control the clock.
Yeah, actually,
I want you to understand. While he's answering my questions, it's on his time.
Oh, so that fucking clock is now out of stock.
After how many?
Oh, the one you were going to sell your clock to buy a new clock, and now
Yeah.
that one's out of stock?
Yeah,
Good job.
So you're not going to sell your clock then?
I'll sell it.
You should jump on that.
I want to. I said I would.
I think
Hey, but
Brent. I think Brent hit it first.
Is Brent here?
Ooh, cash money.
he said he's in town this weekend.
He is in town
Yeah.
right now. I
Is he
think.
here?
Ooh.
I
Brent
think
knows
we-
where I live. It's kind of his responsibility.
Yeah, I feel like if he doesn't have the clock by now,
Why isn't Brent here?
that's a good question.
I don't have the clock with
I
me.
think he's actually on husband duty all
Yeah,
weekend. or
he's
whatever.
basically that. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Anything
even
else?
then, it's only like $2 or $3 cheaper.
We have gotten a lot more likes on our Facebook page this week.
Really? I wonder why that is.
Probably the montage video.
Because we
No.
posted a bunch of shit this week.
We did post.
All the Mark III stuff people are looking up.
Because I've been adding shit on deck in there.
Oh,
Oh,
snap
shit.
diddles.
Well, I mean, your Age of Egos, you're allowed to do that.
I'm not aging.
As Age of Egos, you can do pretty much whatever you want because you are a mod on Daka.
I'm not Age of Egos.
Yeah.
We only have 2 Age of Egos.
That sounds like something Age of Egos would say.
Can you explain to us why your name is Age of Egos? Because
I
I
don't
never
think-
understood that.
Is that like a game thing? What game is that?
I think it's like a 40K.
Well, is that the Empires game?
Age of Empires?
Yeah, is that it? Is like that?
I don't know. I'm
I
not
never
Age of
played.
Egos.
How did you guys get to that point? I don't even understand.
What point?
Age of Empires? Who
Age
said
of
that?
Egos, AOE? Like, is that really...
Yeah.
That's not a
Okay,
huge leap.
so Age of Egos is Ryan's foreign handle from
Yes.
Joe.
Okay.
And he worked on Age of Empires as a playtester.
Because it's like the same thing.
It's-
No, but it's a guess though. Like
That's not even a
Basically,
guess.
you
You
guys got
literally
to that
have
point.
deductive reasoning. It's like, what is
I don't
area
think of
effect?
shitty video
Hey,
games
Brandon,
when I'm trying to figure out people's
You're
format.
putting me in the position of agreeing with Spence right now, and I really dislike
I'm
you
so
for that.
sorry, Karl.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
should.
Yeah.
Can I change my point?
Yes.
Okay. Huh? There. I helped you out, Karl. I'm there for you. Fuck you, by the way.
We have to share a super secret tech for Madrak 2 on here.
God damn it. Okay.
Our super secret tech?
That's
Which
when we're
one's that?
actually doing it.
The one that we were talking about today.
Oh, okay.
All right, shut up and get started.
Are we going to do this?